In this economy, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta get what you gotta get. You can't really survive unless you kill a Dracula with your own bare hands and you get paid minimum wage. Hey there, everyone, and welcome to a Dice Scum Live. We're covering a terrible book today since it's been a little too long since we have. Name's Adam.
I'm Imsit, and yes, Hunter the Reckoning graced us with another book.
Well, they graced us with several. I call these prolapses, or maybe hemorrhoids, since it's like one prolapse and then a bunch of hemorrhoids, or maybe it's like an abortion, and these are the components as they remove the components of the formerly living entity. Yeah, Hunter, in my opinion, is probably the worst of the splat lines that Renegade Studios worked on, just
Yeah.
because the politicking was at its strongest, the concept was kind of at its worst, and I would say it probably disrespected the concept of the Reckoning line harder than any of the other ones. Mainly
Well,
because, at least with Werewolf, you know what you can do? You can play a fucking werewolf. I mean, yeah, their Cryonoswarm is on a time limit, but you can at least rip and tear until it is done. And with
and
vampires, I mean, there's people who love the feeding system and hunger being such a massive part of it. This is just.
yeah, but I'm Imsit, and we're talking about apostates.
And we got Robert Downsy Sr. on the cover. No, seriously, this looks like they needed a guy to look like Robert Downey Jr. as dressed as, oh, hey, this is the Burned Man before he became the Burned Man. This is the Malpias Legion.
Uh,
Leg it.
either that or it's Frank Grillo crossed with any Mexican in a cop show.
Is this Pedro Pascal? Did he star as the cover?
Well, no, it's not Pedro Pascal because we can see him.
True.
He doesn't have a helmet on.
But yeah, we're covering apostates, and what this book is best described as is, hey, you know Hunter's Hunted, you know Project Twilight. There's another book that I forget the name of, but it
Well,
also
no,
covers its own Hunter. It's like that, but
what
shit.
what I would argue it is as, hey, you know how great it is to have a job, to have benefits, support structure, plenty of resources,
Yeah.
and a direction in life. What if you didn't have all that and you went on your own? Because apparently you really can't have a drive living in a corporate environment.
Says the person who is working for the corporation, because this is written by a corporation and it's written by Renegade. It's run by another corporation which treats their third party like shit. Hello there, Paradox Interactive. Oh yeah, by the way, did you know that they're going to have a Montreal studio that has never worked on a game? They've been around for years, but they've never worked on a game to do the Disco Elysium of Vampire. I fully expect that to be like its sequel. And here's another Adam prediction. The company will go bankrupt because the IP is Cursed Earth. Oh boy.
Well, time
So,
to crawl
welcome to
back into the
Hunger.
bottle.
Yeah. That's why you have the Manischewitz.
Okay. But
But
let's
yeah,
begin with our introduction.
find yourself a new job. Yeah, that's very encouraging. I picked this up in a local friendly game store. You know, if the game store's open, most of these have been destroyed. So yeah, I'm going to my about to get closed game store. You see the shelves are at like 80% off. It's all clearance. You see someone shooting up in the bathroom, and then you find this. Yeah, this is very incentivizing for me to pick up. Find yourself a new job. Because maybe I play my games to avoid reality, or hey, maybe I love my job. You know what I mean?
Well, they make a point here that for a hunter, being in a corporation, it stifles your drive because you have a need, an urge to fight off the monster, to hunt them down. And, despite being maybe in an organization that's dedicated to that, you have to go through things like regulations, rules, codes of conduct, ethics. And as I say that, that sounds like actually an interesting way to play and is more similar to the original Hunter the Reckoning, where you are an actually most likely insane person.
Yeah. at first glance you think maybe that's the direction they're going to go with. No, they're not. No, that's not the direction they chose to go with for this. Instead, what they decided to do is fuck all over the Society of St. Leopold, the SAD, which was introduced in Project Twilight, and they added a couple of new ones, Monster X and Revenge, because nothing says Hunter the Reckoning like copying from iHunt. Sure me.
So, an org doesn't provide the freedom to do whatever you want, and sometimes the goals of the org you're a member of for any other reason are at odds with yours.
Yeah, that sometimes happens, especially if they specialize. Okay, here's the thing, right? If you're going to go along the lines of a Hunter compact from Vigil, because this entire line borrows much more from Vigil than Reckoning, they barely even do anything involving the Imbued. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're part of the Cainite heresy, which is what they were in the Vigil, it's not the Cainite heresy from Vampire the Masquerade, which was a heresy by vampires who thought that Cain was going to come and fuck up the world in the 1200s. Yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
This is a different one where it's a bunch of ghouls that murdered their vampire masters and started a church and cult.
Also, NDR, would we cover the game in a live stream? If you're saying which one, the Hunters Hunted or Hunter the Reckoning, this one, the original Hunter the Reckoning,
Or do you
Hunter the
mean like live
Vigil.
stream a vampire game? Because I mean, we maybe could, maybe. I don't think it'd be great. It'd just be bad let's playing, but we could.
And we don't even have Retsu Prey around to make fun of us.
I mean, in fairness, I think Slow Beef is too busy trying to do Street Fighter labs despite not being good at Street Fighter. And
Oh,
Beatus
just like
just does
DSP.
whatever the fuck he wants.
I think he got a job.
Yeah, and he just kind of occasionally streams on Twitch, if I recall, just very briefly, every now
Just
and
like
again.
us.
We wish we had his talent.
So,
But yeah, you're
let's see.
playing what's called apostates, which in another splat, this would be the equivalent of playing your Ronin. Like if you're playing in Werewolf, if you get kicked out of your tribe, you're called a Ronin and you lose most of your gifts. Yeah, do you want to play that but human and thus worse?
So, yeah, you're basically because originally the hunter is you're on your own. You're left to your own devices. And so with an apostate, you're on your own, but you've obviously have some resources, contacts, or even just experience, more so than the average hunter. But you also now have the divided loyalty, and the agency that you may have been working with may not like that you left it.
Well, of course. Mainly because they wasted time investing into you. And also, in a lot of cases, you tend to cause bodies. So here's the thing: in the original Hunter the Reckoning, I always interpret it as they live, where you get your glasses, you see behind the images, the illusion, the Plato's the cave, and you see the world for what it is. And that kind of drives you a little crazy because you keep getting these indications that things aren't right and that you need to, at least according to the messenger, which can be anything, you need to solve the problems. It can take the form of a talking dog, and you're the son of Sam. It could take the form of God actually talking to you, and you're hallucinating that. It could also just be straight up weird emails you get at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Essentially, you eventually become a crazy person who gets on the news after causing a spree incident. Eventually, that is your fate as a hunter. Eventually, you go completely bug shit insane. This is trying to tap into it, but I think the problem is, well, we're going to see the problem.
But also trying to be punk.
That's the Antifa element because Hunter, for whatever reason, Hunter 5th edition, because it was written, I think, during the Summer of Love, they decided to full on go into the Antifa bit, and that is to its detriment.
Fuck the system, man.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
fair
leave.
enough, the system is rotten enough that if you wanted to do a Hunter compact like that, sure, I would be fine with a Hunter compact or a Hunter organization that is essentially Antifa. You could have easily done that, and I don't think it would have been seen as. Well, no, it would have been shat on. It would have been shat on by grifters, but if you handled it well, as long as you treat the other
As like
organizations with some respect, it'd be fine.
yeah, you could like actually how do you gamify anarchist principles?
Yeah, like how would these guys self-organize, or if they do at all? Are they individual cells? Do they go via insurrection? Like, what are their methods? Hmm. But that's not the
I could
direction they went
what
with.
I could see a flaw being like social influence or champagne influence or champagne, where it's like you get a reputation and that gives you more influence, but your ability to do things in private or even be very effective is outshone by the fact that you want the fame.
That is actually one of the backgrounds you could get originally in the World of Darkness. It's called fame, and that is both a benefit and an issue. Because if you're too famous, it's pretty hard to sneak around. So yeah, the introduction they go into what the hunters do. The hunters who know, they awaken a drive within themselves because they didn't like the idea of the messenger. I think this is like some weird atheist at the concept of the imbued. So here's the thing, right? I love Hunter the Vigil more than I like Reckoning. But the
Well,
problem is you have the imbued. This is an actual thing that the hunters have in the world of darkness, right?
it the other thing is it did get more religious, and
Well,
remember this
think
was
about
made in
it.
the
You got voices
90s.
in your head, man.
This was made in the 90s.
I mean, you got
How
voices in
many
your
other
head.
mass shootings have happened since then?
A lot.
And I think the last thing that probably was on their mind was, hey, what if we had somebody in like a Discord or an isolated social circle that was convinced that there's monsters everywhere and needed to make a stand?
Yeah, and that could be how you manifest the messenger. Because here's the thing: it doesn't have to be religious. The problem is, I don't think they understand that you could do the messenger in different ways, and it's weird. I don't think the writers for this. I'd have to actually look to see which ones were involved. Let's take a quick look at who was involved. Okay, who is the writers? M.K. Anderson, Hiromi Koda, Chan Evans, Erica Facette, and Ryan Wilda. None of these people actually worked on Hunter, from what I understand, so they wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
This isn't like Werewolf 5th Edition, which, for all that it's shit, it still had Justin Achille at least create it, and he also worked on Revised Werewolf and Werewolf the Forsaken. The reason Werewolf 5 sucks is mostly because he actually hates Werewolf fans a lot.
Yeah, well, NDR's right. Reckoning messengers sound a little too close to QAnon.
Yeah,
That's probably
you could cut it, but I think that's the problem is if you're doing a World of Darkness, you kind of have to have them.
you kind of have to push, and that's the thing. You should push the envelope and be like, yeah, Q is right.
Yeah, you could have. Oh well, I mean, you wouldn't use the word Q. Maybe X was right.
No, no, V. V was right
You
for
could
vampire.
V for Vendetta.
Actually, well, no, you could do V because there's also that actual deep state that's trying to fight the vampires. So you then have the conflict of the deep state and the Vianoners trying to find the vampires in the government.
Yeah, and then there's other organizations like Society of St. Leopold. You would also have. Again, I think you have to. The problem is this is a setting that you need to have them. This isn't like Vigil where you can just include them as a form of conspiracy or compact. Just add them as you need. This is baked in. This is actually, if you're curious, why they were too chicken shit to remove the concept of generation from Vampire. In Vampire 5th Edition, generation is not as important as blood potency because they copied heavily from Requiem, but they couldn't get rid of it. And that's one of the problems. But anyway, we're
But
getting
yeah,
off track.
so the organizations that we have here, there's others that they have in other books. So the primary ones are going to be the Arcanum, Monster X, Special Affairs Division,
Special Affairs
Livin,
Division is
Society.
from Project Twilight, if you're curious. They are the government agency that kind of came around because of the vampire threat. And I will say this: Project Twilight is a pretty solid book. I don't like it as much as Hunter's Hunted, even though Hunter's Hunted doesn't really give you a lot to work with because it's more of a material for the storyteller.
So
But that's where they come from.
they do start off though. Where do apostates come from?
All right. And they also give the entire list. There's a bunch of them, and they give you
Yeah,
organization types.
they built this up. I'd have to at least say.
They actually tried with this one, which is more than you can say for what they're doing with Werewolf. So how do apostates occur?
So you'll start out some personalities, desk jockey, what, and they often turn when they discover the hypocrisy or corruption on a grand scale, or it's like Office Space, and you find out you haven't been paid.
The
They
consequences
took
of
your
having
stapler.
Gen X retards write their fucking issues with the working environment has been a disaster for the next two generations after
Well, I'm
them.
gonna be honest. Do you want to be around with yuppies?
New. But then
Hey,
again,
Adam,
that's
what's
basically
happening?
every service job.
Right, I'm gonna have you come in here on Saturday and Sunday. Make sure you get those TPS reports and the cover sheets. There's a reason why the term postal became relevant in that era.
Well, yeah, because of the post offices. Because let's be frank, if you're a post office worker, did you know they actually chart you on time? They actually
Uh,
will stalk you with a stopwatch on your
I mean, this
patrols.
this explains this with Men in Black. The only people who work at a post office are actually aliens from another planet.
Or psychopaths.
Yeah, same thing in some cases.
From
Um,
NPR, the imbued were just an excuse to let the hunters bypass mind control powers and live for more than one encounter, and the old world
uh,
social powers were bullshit enough to make mortals irrelevant, in his opinion. I would say that is part of it, but here's the thing: I think the idea was they didn't want to rely on just only true faith being allowed to no sell this sort of stuff.
also, independent hunters are not called apostates. It's those that have previously worked for an org that are now apostates.
Which is a little weird given that there's really only one organization. There's a couple of organizations, but the mass majority of them aren't religious.
Yeah,
I don't
but
like the term. I think the
I
idea is
mean,
these are supposed to be kind of like your Ronin or Caitiff
yeah, I
or
mean, apostate is the best
not
word that we have
Marauders,
for, I guess,
Follow
like
Ones.
someone who broke from an organization. Renegade, you could.
You can't use Renegade, I think, because that is the term for a hunter that's gone completely dual alley
Hey,
compared
yeah,
to white for vampire.
all right. But continuing on, you've got also the noble outsider, um, who realized that its values aren't as pure as they believed, and now facing reality, go to the cold comfort of denial.
Is this Count Dooku? At least when he's written well, 9 times out of 10 he's not.
Um,
Christopher Lee had a lot of
Actually, now I
garbage to work
realized
with.
the Lost 20, or just the Jedi Jedi Monster Hunters.
You could do that.
Yeah, but next is occult librarians. So this is what happens when you're told to destroy certain evidence. Knowledge that mankind was not meant to know, and you decide, no, I must know it. I am mankind.
Reads the
You've been told to
grimoire that
shut your
allows you to
third.
summon the
Yeah,
tentacle monster.
you've been told to shut your third damn eye for a fucking reason.
This is the type of person who reads the Necronomicon and says, "Yeah, I'm going to try all these permutations. I've read the John D. and I've read the the original Elias Warmius translation. I'm going to fucking ruin this world."
Thrill seekers, those who want to just do things without the constant oversight, regulation, need for profit. These are people who are probably going to die.
No, these are the people.
Very
These are the people most likely to murder children because it gets them hard.
true believers. Those who've decided, I'm not going to work my way and fix an organization to reconcile with my beliefs. I'm going to go out on my own. The disillusioned, those who believe that other orgs have a better approach or just lose confidence.
Essentially, what happens are they get kind of bitter with how the organization's run, mainly because. So here's the thing about working in a group of hunters. You kind of have to get them to agree partially on what to do, and you can't just go in guns a-blazing. That usually doesn't work. I mean, sometimes it does. Like if you decide to kill a ghoul gang, like a bunch of ghouls of a personal vampire and blast Dracula in the face, that can sometimes work. The problem is that method usually gets you dead.
Yeah.
So
And
these
then
are the
of
people that
course
usually struggle with that kind of concept.
you get the various drives, the creeds, the backgrounds from the base game.
Yeah, which is a slight variation on how they worked in original Reckoning. This is somewhat similar. It's not quite though.
This is normally, like how you would have your clan and then your
This
faction.
is one of the reasons I never really cottoned on to Reckoning. The concept of Reckoning is interesting, but it's just, as someone once said, once you have one of their Creed books or one of their Drive books, congratulations, you don't need to buy any of the other ones because it's just the same book written with a different emotion.
Hmm. I do like here though in the new mechanics they give a weapon,
Oh, they do?
Velum Sanctuary, the Red Death.
Okay,
It is a dense gas that leaves the undead withered and desiccated. Only
interesting.
used by the Society of Saint Leopold. Now, for those of you who have watched our video on the vampire book about playing as traveling musicians, you might realize that this term, the Red Death, was used in that book.
Oh yeah, there's the bit where after the hate crime parade that you have to go to like Austria or some shit.
Well, no, it's yes. There was basically the Tremere, a chantry in Austria, was destroyed,
Good.
and agents from Bope, SAD, and the Society of Leopold first started hate crime riots to rile people up and to distract, and then they
My
landed
favorite being they
the
had Brazilians in whiteface
yeah.
protest.
They then airdropped these agents in there, most of them dying, and but releasing this red gas to cause damage to vampires.
And the
So
way
hey,
this works is kind of bullshit. Essentially, how it works is within 40 meters, it ruins your eyesight, it blinds you, you take a point of aggravated damage per turn, and then you just immediately act like you just got staked or you're in torpor. Which I think is a little bit fucking bullshit personally, but in fairness, you kind of need advantages like that as a hunter.
yeah, this is
I
you're fighting vamp.
I would like to know what goes into the chemistry behind this or how it
I don't
works.
think you want. Well, I don't think we want to know.
I kind of do, especially since this is made by this. Is this like the blood of Christ, like distilled? Is this distilled Jesus blood? Do they do they have a Jesus homunculus at the bottom of their chantry that they collect blood from like an Evangelion?
You mean like a Metachrist from Trench Crusade?
Yeah,
That is actually what they. Yeah, Trench Crusade. We cloned Jesus. They don't turn out to be like regular Jesus.
maybe it is made from the Red Star. That's a good point, Angel Arroyo.
Oh,
That's a good
that,
point. Maybe it is
yeah.
anti-Helios. Maybe
That
it's
actually
just
would make
condensed
sense.
anti-Helios.
That no, that makes complete sense.
Okay.
Um, let's see. They give us other things that you can get from different organizations. If it's a government or a vigilante org, debilitating restraints, a mixture of chemical, auditory, electrical to distract the victim.
Let's give them a controlled shock.
A forensic field kit, monster bane restraints, and occult field kits.
I like how the only one they were really cooking on was the Red Death, and I think it's just
Well,
because
that's a specific weapon. The rest are just gear.
I don't know. I just feel like you got the Red Death and then monster restraints.
I don't know. Yeah, you could have given us some name.
I know it's a rare holographic W by Trench Crusade versus World of Darkness. I know NDR. This is a bad day. This is a terrible day.
We've got
Here's something I will say that's interesting. I find it interesting they're adding these mechanics first. They usually do this at the end of a book.
no, they tend to front load the flaws and the merits and all this stuff. It's lore sheets though. They put some lore sheets first,
Okay.
but they give more upgrades. So for like if you're a resources background, you can buy the following merits, of which are flaws like freelance or gig economy.
This should never be a resource flaw. If you're this no
Debts.
No. Look at this shit. No. I actually really hate these modifications because then there's credit hungry, which I guess makes sense kind of. I just really fucking hate this.
Yeah, I mean, credit hungry in this case meant for mentorship
Oh, also
instead of.
also you notice that they only gave a shit for Arcanum, even though they have other academic societies. Fuck them.
I mean, I guess the point is, yeah, it is
I feel like they just had a couple of
this arc.
ideas for these new guys, and that's about it.
Yeah. Like they have a whole section on a franchise office for Monster X.
Oh, you mean like Hunter Incorporated? I
They're
think
stealing our idea that we haven't even made up yet.
I know. They somehow went into the future to steal our idea.
It's paracausal.
Damn it, they were working with Horus. Also, why is the rural hideaway Arcanum?
Uh,
Shouldn't
okay,
that
so
just be any of them?
hunting lodge on a sprawling English estate or a farm plantation in the deep bayou.
Okay, so what happened was a couple of these idiots were big into Call of Cthulhu. I don't blame them. Call of Cthulhu slaps. And they're like, let's make an organization that is something like Dr. Henry Armitage and Miskatonic University. Which, you know what? I'm not going to say no to that.
Well, Arcanum's been around for a while.
Oh yeah, it's a hit. It's a hit video game. Destroyed the company though when they made Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
Oh,
Yeah, remember the same company made Arcanum.
oh, yeah. I do like here though. So if you're in Monster X, you can get experimental medicine. Want to be clavicular?
I find it interesting. Do they actually give you? I'm surprised you don't have to pay money for this.
You sign a waiver.
I feel like what they should have done. Oh, also poorly maintained equipment. I feel like what Monster X should also do is you should to get the license you have to sacrifice some of your resources.
I'm surprised. So, like, I'm looking at
Because
this.
remember,
The experimental.
you do have to spend like remember for a franchise ownership, even a shitty hot dog company, like a shitty hot dog selling, that's still like $5,000.
I
That's
don't
still a
think they're
dot of
using.
resources.
I don't think they're using franchise in the right way. But I like here when you're given the medicine perks, improved resilience,
All right.
monstrous enhancement. And they develop a weakness to a mundane material and increase one of their attributes by 2 dots. What's the attribute? What's the effect?
Who knows?
Is Games Workshop better at describing generic abilities? Yes.
Oh no.
Also, come on, unstable steroids. One attribute increases, make it a physical, and then it's a social attribute as you become this roided, dysmorphic, acne ridden, small dicked thing.
Yeah. Also, Monster X having this asset. Hey. Oh, I know what these assholes are doing. They're stealing from the Vigil guys. They're stealing from some of the compacts to make these. They didn't even come
Oh,
up with
absolutely.
this. This is like Chiron Group bullshit.
Yeah. And then we get
Fuck
to our
off.
but then we get to our lore sheets. And we start with Agent Cog.
He's a chimney sweep. Got no shoes upon his feet.
Not only is he a beat thief, but he's also apparently a pirate radio host.
Oh no.
And oh
Hey,
no.
if you want to talk, if you want to learn
Wait,
more about
no,
Cog, we covered
no.
this book with
Yeah,
Galliard Group. It's actually one of our playlists. Look it up.
yeah.
It's called
Uh
Incognito Mode.
no, I read that first sentence there.
Based on Cog's beginning as a pirate radio host and disseminator of flyers in Austin, Texas in the 1980s, profilers place him in his early mid-70s and in the Philippines, or if he's even the same person. That was a
Wait, wait,
run-on
wait.
sentence from hell.
It was uh pirate radio host, Austin, Texas.
Yeah?
Government, conspiracies. It's Alex fucking Jones.
Well, that's just fucking lame. That is really lame.
I, I, it's Alex fucking Jones.
So for those of you who want to picture what this version of Kaga is, just Alex Jones back when he had the Hitler mustache, because he did
I
have
do,
one for a while.
yeah, I do like this here though. For 5 dots, it's never aliens. Of all the possible paranormal things behind event, the one thing it has never ever been is aliens. Agent Cog disagrees, and if you tell him aliens were involved in an event, he eagerly broadcasts this fact to his hundreds of thousands of fans.
So
This decreases rival orgs' interest in any quarry or the aftermath of a hunt to zero.
I want to kick the
I
writer of this in the face, and here's why. This is the unholy bastard love child of two fucking memes. X Files, Sculler and Moldy, Sculler and oh god,
Mulder and
Scully and
Scully.
Mulder. God, what is wrong with my tongue today? And House. And the reason why
Though
is
that,
because remember, one of the running gags is that it's never exactly aliens in the X Files, and then it's never aliens the way it's framed. It's never lupus,
yeah.
except in the one episode where they decided to buck that trend.
I mean, it just this is those like, yeah, it actually has never been aliens.
Well, true. Funnily enough, White Wolf was interested in making an alien splat. They never got around to it because they went they went bankrupt because of Wraith.
Yeah. Let's see. But the next section though is Arcanum tenure. Tenure.
You can't kill me. I have tenure.
In which, yeah, you get tenure. You could also be a prolific researcher.
Hey, at least I'm not the only one who can fuck up my
One
writing.
one mistyped letter right there. And then best served cold revenge. So you
RV.
used to RV colon venge.
That sounds like a really terrible movie that you would see because they just ran out of things to screen. Doesn't this feel like a random movie they found in like a
Asylum
dumpster?
presents Asylum presents revenge.
It's a Resident Evil clone.
And let's see. We have defector from ESOG, from the Entity Special Operations Group of the Society of Leopold.
Hey, it's the AI generated character from the back in the day where we covered oh god, what was it? Obscura. The stupid
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Candela Obscura.
it's this Candela Obscura monk. It's the Candela Obscura nun that I AI generated.
Oh,
How
remember those days.
oh god, oh god, this became a real character. Wait, does this mean that does this mean that the artist for this actually saw saw the
No, no,
episode?
no. It's just a black woman in a nun outfit.
Oh man.
And then we have next up Dr. Teresa Flanders. So part of the SAD Research and Forensics subdivision.
AKA sad. Just
Part of the
sad.
team that pioneered psychic surgery.
Which, if you're wondering, is stolen from Project Twilight. That is the book that gave you psychic powers. And actually, if you're curious, the concept of Vascu is actually based on the SAD. If you've ever played Hunter the Vigil, Vascu is based on SAD.
Okay, the next one I kind of like. The Evangelical Friends of Saint Rita. They are the least discriminating of recruiters, of inquisitors, so not every camp counselor, Catholic school teacher, or youth pastor truly understands the severity of the threat they vowed to oppose.
Is it bad that I'm just envisioning like you got this Fred Rogers character, like this man in his 50s who's given a phone call and he's like, "Wait, I have to do what?" I understand. And he pulls out one of his hand puppets and like a sword, like an actual silver sword. Come, we have
But you've
work to
got
do. And then it cuts to him destroying a vampire slave ring.
you've got that, a televangelist grifter, a Mormon missionary, and then
Alex
yeah,
Jones with a
just
Hitler mustache just screaming
I,
into a
yeah.
microphone.
Well, no, I was, and then let's go Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I will say that so far this book is slightly better than the original Hunter Splat, but that's just because we're coming up with better ideas or
Just
funny
because you
ideas.
have factions that have interesting dynamics, like
Potentially interesting
running,
dynamics.
like having a Monster X franchise.
That's mildly interesting. I also love the choice of just a non-discriminatory, kind of like a Jesuit order, that just has all these sleeper agents that essentially they have no idea what they signed up for. So you just imagine like you get like a fucking prayer counselor at like a gay conversion camp. Wait, I have to do what now? I have to stop the changelings from turning my. I have to stop the changelings from doing what?
Or I'm thinking here, like you get,
Wait, there's fairies? Like that's a real thing?
and not the ones that are here. Or I don't know, you get a Unitarian Universalist and a hardline, um, what was it, pre-Vatican II Catholic, and they're teamed up to save the world from the devil.
I mean, yeah, you could do that. There's Demon the Fallen.
Non-denominational, non-denominational devil though.
You know, that actually reminds me that apparently they might still do a Mage Fifth, or if they aren't. So the hypothesis that I have is that they're going to
Please
get
do.
rid of spheres, and it'll be more linear magic. I do know that there's hints they might do a changeling, and if they do, it's much more likely they're going to base it on the lost rather than the dreaming. AKA the Chronicles of Darkness version, where you are essentially an abuse victim that escaped from Arcadia, rather than just being born sad at the world that you see.
Even though I feel like that would be more attractive to the fan base that White Wolf has
Oh, the dreaming? Well, yeah,
congregated.
because dreaming does make sense in its own way. Like, it actually kind of serves as a counterpoint to the other splats.
Yeah. Uh, then we have Morgan Holmescroft, who is the head of Arcanum.
That's not more again, it's Morag.
Morag. Wow.
I also know that the only reason this person has that name is because the person who wrote this was into Harry Potter.
But now we get into our actual organizations. Uh, First up is Arcanum. One of its tenets
It's
is that
Hogwarts,
it,
but lame.
yeah. Well, no, it does not evaluate the morality of the supernatural simply in light of the fact of its existence, nor does it take any action against the supernatural based on any predetermined system of ethics. Okay,
So
great. We've got postmodernism, but now for our vampires.
you have a liberal arts degree college that their entire thing is justifying why you should allow the vampires to human traffic.
It's just part of their culture.
It's just part of day culture.
Don't be a pro. It just goes up to a bunch of goths. How dare you appropriate the culture of vampires?
No, how dare you appropriate the culture of the hollow ones? I'm just, oh God, how do they justify the Hearthkeeper's propensity to abuse their family and children?
The same way that people do for their own cultures.
And I'm
It's
calling them
just
the
what we
Hearth
do.
Wardens or Hearthkeepers because that's what they ruined the Fianna into.
It's just their culture. It's just their way of life, and you can't judge their way of life.
Wait, does this mean the Arcanum would actually destroy Karim Muammar for destroying their culture, or at least trying to in Werewolf Fifth?
Well, let's see. So their origins was from Benjamin Holmescroft, who founded it in the late 19th century when there was all that spiritualism and seance stuff.
Okay, so far this makes sense. I have nothing to complain about for it.
So yeah, their parapsychology,
Yeah, this is something that really became popular in the 19th century. We covered a little bit
which
of that when we
yeah,
did the Hermetics way back when.
which still exists. There are organizations that still do this, and the only reason they're not basically defunct is because Holmescroft was fucking rich.
I'm not too surprised. I think the idea behind our well, we'll see. We might be going
So,
with the idea that these are supposed to be like Ghostbusters.
oh no, they're not. No,
Okay.
they research, they observe, and they just explore. So they study the phenomenon of, let's say, a haunting. They don't try to stop the haunting. They don't try to they're not going to intervene. They're going to let the creature the possess the human and then have them do horrible things so that they can feel and gain pathos.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that these guys are just straight up hardcore evil and they're not even really hunters. They're just
No,
the
they're
observers of the
scientists.
weirds.
They're scientists. How dare you? They're scientists. Do we stop when an animal is eating another animal? This is natural life. This is just a part of the natural world.
It's part of the natural world. As you see a child's life essence get drained into the fucking blood-soaked walls of the house of the murders.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, that is at least,
The concept's at least fascinating.
yeah.
I don't hate this organization
I mean,
completely.
I mean, it's essentially like if you go like SCP and all the organizations that want to preserve. I mean, even SCP has preserved some of these dangerous creatures, even though a bullet to the head actually would be improvement.
They also highlight that because they are scientists intrinsically, they have a bad habit of not taking risks, which is
And
amusing.
and that's the thing. Yeah, you're not going to intervene. You're not going to take risks. Because then you're intruding on the experiment.
They also, on top of that, tend to not really resolve issues, and they hoard info,
Yes.
which is amusing given that the entire point of, well, if they're scientists, they have to disseminate their research.
Well, then they'll be called a fraud.
It's almost like they're not scientists at all.
How dare you? I am on scientific principles, biblically sound and verified scientific principles, not any of that lamestream hackademia that's just in service to big research and the all the other organizations that try to manipulate them.
Now let
I'll have the Vanderbilt and all those they were manipulated by a bunch of people in small hats.
now let me explain how the pyramids are actually parts of a giant golem that will rise up and eat the sun when the world is about to end.
The Nephilim exist and they're in our government right now.
Knowledge for knowledge's sakes and fallacy from Rothern. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, the only good is knowledge and the only evil is ignorance. Quote Azek Ahriman of the Thousand Suns from Warhammer.
Also, I will note that this page, they're trying to make it writing, but the problem is this is papyrus. This is literally one of the most commonly used fonts to pretend that it's writing.
Also, many of the cons of it, did you know that it's an institution? So it's got privilege and tradition and old people and
Aren't they also almost broke though?
privilege
So going to school,
and
which is,
academia
but
and tradition.
aren't these the same idiots that demand you go to college anyway to get educated?
Tradition. Yes, but obviously we uh
I
you know,
don't think they thought this through.
they don't they value traditional forms of education
I
and
feel I
privilege.
feel like this organization is being written by someone who's never actually worked in a college system at all.
Like they have here a report from the
Or
discipline
a
community of
research. This is actually also similar to like a
yeah,
research think tank. I don't think they've ever dealt with any of
yeah,
this at all.
saying like a 16-year-old missing. I exercise Rafferty with extreme prejudice. I do not acknowledge the validity of the discipline and ethics committee complaint against me. A neutral position on the supernatural and a willingness to observe phenomenon objectively is the minimum threshold we expect of our arcanists.
They also have this paper where it's like pros and cons, a simple pro and con analysis.
It's a privilege. They don't
Yeah.
let me forget it's a privilege. It's a privilege. Funded a PhD possibility, but it's a privilege.
What else can I do with a degree in history and a focus in ancient mysticism? Uh,
Hey, have you ever heard of Esoterica? Very
yeah.
popular YouTuber that um, delves into the occult and is expanding its popularity and providing the education for free.
Yeah. You could start a YouTube channel if you have the charisma. And even if you don't, you know what you can use that history degree to do? Just write like shitty sci-fi or fantasy novels with that history degree, bro. It
Also,
actually,
I like.
because you know the culture. Here's the thing: if you know history, do you know all the stupid, insane bullshit you can pull off? I mean, that's how most of the fucking world setting in the old world of Warhammer worked. It was
Yeah.
just a pastiche of the 1500s.
I so also here creating academic orgs, and they make a point that the Arcanum is rich and European, more British to be exact, so it has different traditions, and saying that academia looks very different outside the romanticized Western version the Arcanum exemplifies.
Have you
You
ever
know,
gone to a cram school, you stupid fucks?
how would an ambitious,
Go
rigorous,
to a
well-funded
Korean cram school and
Japanese
come back.
wait, how would an ambitious, rigorous, well-funded Japanese university determined to build global reputation tackle the monster problem? Well, I would presume exactly the same as the Arcanum,
It would.
because the European standard became the world standard because they ended up dominating the entire world.
There's also the matter that in once you get out of high school in Asian society, the high expectations. This is the consequences of anime and not actually double checking your fucking source. High school is fucking horrible for them. College is like fucking liberating by comparison. Yeah, you still have the uniform, but guess what? They don't push on you as hard, and your parents don't care because you got into the good, like
Yep.
societally, you're fine now.
Hmm.
A more interesting idea is so did you know that recently China got into some trouble with some academic book cooking in terms of their numbers of graduates, where they'll just
China cooking the books on statistics. Who knew?
essentially they were giving degrees to party affiliate students, basically the
Oh, of
children of party
course,
apparati.
of
Uh,
course.
for
Just like Mao wanted.
in particular, what was it? Fudan University and Peking Union Medical College. I think both got in trouble for that recently.
Oh, a medical college. How wonderful.
So think about it like this. Imagine if instead you play into that idea where you have the warring Western ideal, but then like you have elements of corruption, and it doesn't have to be in Asia; it can be anywhere.
Oh
Or
yeah,
alternatively, imagine if you're a lesser accredited branch of the Arcanum. Okay, hear me out. The Arcanum is like the most premier of these, but there's other institutions whose accreditations are varied in quality
yeah.
and rigorousness. Like, imagine being the poor schmuck that was like from, I don't know, Baghdad Academic University, where as a Sufi mystic you studied how to wrestle demons in oil.
Eh.
And then you have to explain this to the uptight yuppies from the Arcanum with your degree that they would argue is the equivalent of an associate's, but you are actually a doctorate, you should know. Or alternatively,
Uh,
what if yours is just a big corrupt graft by, like, let's say, a rich family of mystics, where they basically take the money from you, you know? You could play into the student loan thing out of that.
oh yeah. I'm surprised. I don't think they got into the student loan thing here yet.
I think they will. But a lot of people
Uh,
do leave the Arcanum, mainly just because it takes a lot of
yeah,
time to get anywhere into it.
because the Arcanum only kills monsters who become a problem. Those who deserve it, that kill or harm the living.
Okay, so they do actually interfere with their
They do,
experiments.
but they probably. I mean, you don't want to say. And in conclusion, I killed the research subject. I have no other evidence to gain from this. Here's my report. Give me money.
Angel Arroyo brings up that these academic orgs are probably puppets to different mage groups. That's actually a fun idea. The Arcanum is actually a front for the Hermetic Society, the Order of Hermes.
Hmm.
You could do something out of that, I think. And what happens is if you don't have the talent to awaken, the Arcanum's kind of like the equivalent of their grogs. Oh, actually, that's a fun idea. The Arcanum is actually where they hire their grogs to do like the menial work. If you
Hmm.
want to do like an Ars Magica kind of thing with them.
Yeah.
I don't.
So
This book isn't doing them well, but the concept's fine.
yeah. So they have a bunch of characters that they go through to give an understanding. One of them is, you know, a guy who's eager to learn. Another one is a very hardliner when it comes to data. Another one's an Indian woman that's and is
They
young.
also have the burnout. So, like, let's say you just can't handle the academics, you just burn out. But yeah, here they are. Here's Mr. Byers.
Another one studies hunters.
Yeah,
There a bunch of stuff. Then we can go into though Monster X. Monster X sells a service, namely monster removal for a price. You know, when things aren't supposed to be public.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Oh, actually, no, they do. It's not turns out its agents and customers selling franchise opportunities and lackluster training courses to new recruits.
Okay, so unironically, Monster X is pretty similar to what I had in mind for Hunter Inc. The difference is, okay, so what my problem with their costume design, you know what? I think that going for the influencer look or for like the escort prostitute look, I think that's the wrong vibe for Monster X. Do you want to know what I would have gone with?
The Everyman Joe.
I would have one of them dressed kind of like a plumber, where they're wearing durable clothing and you see them with like a fucking gun or like some weird supernatural item. And then have the other one be like some earnest teenager just on their first fucking week on the job. Like I would go with them essentially being an exterminator for hire. These are the guys that usually get hired by Pentex to play stupid idiot.
Yeah. So Monster X
Actually,
primarily
no.
are
Monster X should be a subsidiary of Pentex. That's my idea. Or
yeah.
Hunter Incorporated could be a
Well,
subsidiary of it, or partially bought out by them.
so let's see. Most of the rank and file are ex-law enforcement, military survivalists, those who couldn't cut it out at Blackwater, or, I presume, local mall security.
Okay, so these are basically your wannabe fash. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but that's
could
how they envision it. Although I will say, since this was written in 2025, they did ease back. Like, let me be blunt. This is a much better book than the original Hunter one was because they went less hard on the politics.
though I would have expected a guy who wanted to work for ICE, but then realized they weren't fighting aliens; they were just fighting regular people.
No, I love the here's a funnier idea. The guy goes to ICE and then he goes, "Wait a minute. I'm too qualified for this fucking job." Like not qualified enough to be a police officer, too qualified to beat up Mexicans incompetently and have white people run at me so I have to shoot them. Fuck that. I want to fight the real aliens. Oh, there's no aliens and it's just like fucking demons and wizards? Sure, I'll cast my greatest spell of all, gun.
Do you have hey devil? You got papers to be in this country? Shows the U.S.
I'm just envisioning him
Wait,
harassing Kane because he pale. You know the Family Guy gag where it's like okay skin tone, not okay skin tone. He pulls one out, looks at Kane, and then tries to get him out of the bar, and then just dies instantly.
so
Kane just looks at him and he just vanishes. No one acknowledges he exists because he never did because he's Kane. Yeah, Ghostbusters jumpsuits. That's about on par with what I would
yeah,
go with Angel Arroyo.
let's see.
And
So
from
yeah,
Closing
you're
Straw, we killed our research subject. We need more subjects. Oh God.
so let's see. Monster X takes monsters and uses them for their proprietary technology.
I find it interesting these guys are founded in Norway, by the way.
Uh,
Oh, this is
it's
just
all
shitty Umbrella Corporation because
yeah,
their facilities
funded.
are in Africa too.
Yep, funded by
Ow.
for speculation and risky investments. So your basic job is you're going to protect the asset
Okay.
and use the experiments that we gain from the assets to keep protecting the asset.
So my problem with this is I think this is the wrong I don't like this take because A, it's basically a shittier version of Umbrella Corporation combined with stars.
It's also too public.
It's too public, that's another problem. And I feel like this is too I feel like you should have an organization that's more like a scummy blue collar construction job sort of thing, you know?
Or I mean, to be honest, you just do the SCP Foundation.
You could do SCP Foundation. Like I think you could do that for like the for like this, but I think you need that scummy blue collar aspect to show that it's not just the wealthy, it's like the people who make their money off the backs of people who don't. If you want to go for like the politic angle or you want the
Yeah.
corrupt angle. I don't know. I feel like just the think about it like this. You have the mental image of a guy going to go to work, and he's the only person that speaks English because they just get a bunch of fucking human trafficked victims from like Central America. We got a bunch of Guatemalans that you're gonna tag along. You're gonna have to translate for them. That's actually why we got you, because you have 1 year of Spanish. Good luck. You're gonna have to fight a few dozen chupacabras. What are chupacabras? They are made by the ugly men. And it turns out that the chupacabras are just like a bunch of ghouled dogs by Nosferatu.
Ooh.
There you go. That's my idea for chupacabra if you want to use it.
So,
They're
well, if we
either
did want to
embraced or
go,
ghouled dogs.
well, if we did want to go to the blue collar workers, we can skip all the way
Oh no, we got to go
to
through the management because like this is something they created for this book, and we need to see what their efforts inspired.
like the characters,
Yeah, like if Evelina Budries is the CEO and uses her vision, vast personal fortune, and cryptocurrency in 2025, she bought the dip. She bought the dip and somehow profited. She went to the moon.
and we have Yusuf Ghanem, who is the Lord of Oil Surveys in the laboratory in Togo.
Chief Technical Officer, his vision that guides the company's development efforts.
Patricia Abelo, who does a lot of data management. And Maximilian Weathers, the Chief Operations Officer and ex-British Special Forces.
That's your Wesker.
He, yep, he makes the call to buy out franchise that become too successful and risk drawing too much government attention.
So
You know,
if you want to fight Wesker, this is this guy. I will say that the
and
characters are, you can do something with them, but I feel like they needed a bit more
uh,
cooking. Also, Nicholas Liu brings up that this is Chiron Group. Yeah, this is Chiron Group.
yeah, like they have shooting script of like, uh, somebody loading a shotgun with Monster X garlic and salt shells.
Actually, no, hear me out. That okay?
The
I have a
latest in
really funny
stealth and
idea.
home defense solutions, so that when the monsters come, you'll have everything you need to defend yourself.
No, you gave me an even better idea than the blue collar worker. Hear me out. The crank version of Walmart or Best Buy, where like the Best Buy guides, like the Best Buy buddies, the guys that teach you how to use your computers and shit.
Ah,
That's your hunters, and then you treat it like a fucking Walmart, where you basically cater to the crazies by giving them bullshit that actually kind of works if they know what they're looking for. Like for
but
the
do they ever
cranks,
know
you
what
just
they're
give
looking
them
for?
garlic, but if they know that you can give them the silver shells that are blessed by like a fucking Society of Leopold member that you managed to get your hands on. Doesn't that sound like more interesting? Where it's like a Dick's Sporting Goods, where you get to buy your like possibly, it's like a Dick's Sporting Goods of Walmart or Temu. Actually, yeah, vampire hunting Temu, where you can buy your supplies. They're the weapons merchant of the fucking hunters
Okay, that's fine.
of dubious
But
quality. Based in its corporate capital is in obviously the state of Delaware, but its company is mostly in China. There you go.
American Assembled.
They go into the grind, the concept of how it works,
But we've gone over how it works.
the
We can
work
go into
culture, which it's basically, if you've ever worked in a corporation, this is where they use all the corporatees that you're familiar with, like we work like a family, or agile and dynamically designed, things like that.
we do have here the personnel.
Here's the things you need to know about working for Monster X.
Oh, I was gonna say to move on to
Fair enough.
the character because this is sort of just more flavor to it
They have a shooting
because they
script.
go into like the
Like they
stereotypes and
really thought they
whatnot.
were cooking when they were just reheating ramen.
So you get this Dr. Dieter Baum, who's one of Yusef Ghanem's cronies,
This is
and
Sigmund.
yeah, he's basically
It's
just a
looks
researcher.
maxing Sigmund Freud.
It is. Oh my god.
No, I'm not.
It's
I don't have an anal fixation. Yes, you do. Like, just the fucking. It's just the fucking Chad meme. It's Chad Sigmund Freud.
it's Sigma Freud. And then we have Marius Bond, a regional operating officer who Has a knack for breaking almost everything he touches.
Well, before then, another thing about Sigmund Male Grindset Sigmund Freud is he is your standard evil German scientist. This guy looks like the sort of dude that you would put on the poster of something.
Yes. So Marius Boone, literally, when he joins the cell, he increased the difficulty of all tests involving technology by half the danger level. So is he part fairy?
He's part gremlin.
Yeah. Lozer, how would you guys do an unmasquerade from the world of darkness?
Um, well,
That
that's a
would,
good one.
yeah,
And that would have
that
been an
would take a
interesting
lot.
fifth. That would be an interesting fifth edition too.
Is they just abandon the whole it's in secret, it's in the open now?
Hmm.
That would be interesting. But the next group,
I
Rebecca
oh
Lobo,
god, yeah. Like how would we do that? I don't know. Uh,
she uh she got her legs mauled by a werewolf and is now managing operations in West Africa.
so they not only had to make her brown but disabled. Got it. I'm making a joke, but
Yeah.
actually, I would have done just for maximum funsies. The werewolf was actually because she was. I would make the big twist is she's actually a kinfolk, and the werewolf that she had to kill
Oh.
was her abusive boyfriend slash husband.
But then we have Samantha Pastor. Samantha, she, they,
Okay.
is no stranger to long hours. She graduated top of her class and was recruited by
No, no.
Monster X before she could enter corporate.
Before we go into this character, I'm gonna point out that none of the other characters had to do the fucking pronouns thing.
Nope.
Just pointing out. I just, you know, it would have worked better. Let me give an example of how Samantha is a no stranger. She before they could, and what you do is you just alternate. You just alternate the fucking
They do
pronouns
that.
without
They
bringing
do
it up.
that. They
No, but
they actually do
you
that.
don't do the parentheses thing then. Make it
Yeah.
subtler. Make it subtler. That's how I would do it. So, anything
Uh,
interesting about this character?
Nope. HR. Just HR.
No, they should be the most evil one of all.
Yeah.
This one should make the fucking evil German scientist go, "Ach, nein, no, no, don't bring her here." Like the auditor from hell.
But then we have Re colon Venge.
Don't you like how
It
they
is
have a
Ven.
don't you like how they have an Apple Watch that analyzes your heartbeat or whatever?
We then have so yeah. Their whole thing is they're contracted to hunt monsters.
So the same fucking thing as Monster X.
Yes, except it's the gig economy.
I think I felt my kidneys clench.
Get it? You're on the grind set now. Be your own boss. Make the work for you. You're freelancers, which means you die fast. You die so fucking fast.
I think this is where I would
And again,
I would have done
remember,
Hunter Incorporated. And here's how I would handle this instead of revenge. What you could do for them is you could make them like Bitcoin assassins. That's one way I would have done them. But I would have gone instead with Extermination Company that's actually a hunter compact, an organization. And the disguise is that they go after rats and they specialize in killing ratkin.
uh,
Like they specialize in killing ratkin and they specialize in killing furmori and that sort of shit. And the reason why is because they constantly have to deal with them in the sewers, mainly because of the amount of fucking wormish taint down there. Essentially, I'd be stealing the concept of the rat catchers from old world Warhammer. Where they have to do the forever wars in the sewers against the
they,
Skaven.
yeah, listen, they even have a subreddit. Our Vengeance on Demand.
Vengeance on demand.
Revengeance.
I do love the idea that they just have a fucking Reddit. That's just so stupid.
It's really, it's just corporate.
They should have a terrible app, an
They
application that
do.
doesn't work. So you have to go online on a computer to actually use anything right, and it
Oh,
doesn't
by the
work half the time.
if we if we look at
Oh, the QR code is a very nice touch.
As I like here from Nicholas Luer, campaign idea. You are the auditor for Monster X. Your goal is to survive completing the audit.
I think a funnier idea is you're the mad scientist for Monster X, and you have to actually follow basic OSHA compliance because the auditor is there. Like because the OSHA officer is also a member of the SAD, so they're in on the monster thing, but they have like basic regulations for how to handle the different supernatural monsters. Like the original one's fun, but I think that other version's also equally fun.
So don't worry, we have somebody who clearly is a. Pretty sure this is a they them. Sparrow Liu.
Yeah, they also go into making money, leaving revenge. Sales agent to complete. Client is Mrs. Rebecca Klein, recently widowed mother of 3 children. Mrs. Klein is insisting their youngest child has been abducted and replaced by something else. She's reluctant to say it's an alien, but that's the that is hinting at Changeling the Lost.
Yep.
This is
Oh,
not the dreaming, so
oh.
what they're going with is they're going to go with
This isn't
Changeling the
his
Lost.
face anymore. Doesn't look the way he used to. Subject Reflection doesn't look the way it used to. We shouldn't rule out the likelihood the family is trying to cloak Mr. Klein's past. Oh, yeah.
So
Yep.
essentially, this is Changeling the Lost, which, hey, do you like Changeling the Dreaming? You do? Well, fuck you. So if they ever do a Changeling splat, this kind of tells you the mindset that they're working with. And I find it interesting they keep copying the homework from a company that they don't have the rights to.
Let's see. Case history. Let's see. Yeah. Most people are like, uh, I'm not taking a case on a child. By the way, 15,000 to kill a child.
I mean, it is the world of darkness, but I don't think they intended it for like this.
15,000 to kill a child.
In the old world of darkness, this is a genuine thing you could have done.
For 15,000 though?
Yeah, life is kind of cheap. Remember, in the world
Yeah.
of darkness, rather than snuff films kind of being incidental and caught on like, closed caption cameras and shit like that, there's actual snuff studios in a few areas, at least in some of the
Okay.
greasiest parts of the city. Not always,
But
but essentially, it's a darker world. I could see someone do it. I could see someone being a Bitcoin assassin to murder a child for that much.
let's go into these the
I
personal
mean, hell,
records
you
of
got. I mean, think about it like this: you could get a psychopath who'd want to do it for free, and you fucking know it. They're out there. Oh god, I'm just now envisioning like a hunter group where it's like serial killer for hire. It's like, look, we know you want to add another body to your collection, and here's a monster probably. And
I'm
if not,
pretty
I
sure
hate
that
them.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that that is some of these characters.
The poor syndicate manager that has to work in the middle management from Nicholas Liu. Yeah, he'd be trying so hard to use his fears to get out of that cycle, especially in Revenge. R/ vengeance on demand. There it is. I'm surprised that they didn't just cancel this. I'm surprised that they didn't just use their assets to just fucking close it. By the way,
Yeah.
here's something that they don't seem to understand. Do you know how easy it is to infiltrate Reddit and just hijack it as a corporation? At least their subreddits.
What if this is a hijacking?
It might be. Let's see. We see you, human resources. Still paying off my hospital bill from the first case I worked. Skill issue. This actually isn't too bad as a little bit of diegetic world building.
Yeah.
If you don't
And they
like it,
go in,
just leave. No law saying you have to stay. And they complain about forming a union when in reality I'm just envisioning them hiring out hit marks to just kill them all.
you're a gig economist.
I'm just envisioning them unionizing and then they just quietly cut them out of the organization. I would actually say because of that, there should be a lot of apostates from this.
Well, if they live that long.
Oh yeah. Well, most people at Revengeance don't last that long, before finding a different career.
And becoming an experiment for Monster X. But yeah, let's look at those personnel records.
Yeah, because here's another thing: the archetypes they have,
They're
they
just starting out. Like,
well, not only that, but they've kind of repeated a few of these already. Also, the Eternal Jobber. They started in sales, but that was barely enough to live on. Then Revenge eliminated their position in a round of job cuts. Blah 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 blah. By the way, for Revenge, they don't even have the underqualified.
Heh,
The fucking like I'm a 17-year-old high schooler that got tricked into fucking joining because this is a scam.
yeah. But we've got Sparrow Liu. They're paid mostly by commission. They're
How did
also
this
pretty law
fucker not
students.
get killed? Look at how
Don't.
fat they are. They're fat.
They're barrel shaped.
They're barrel shaped. I could use them at a level of Donkey Kong. This bitch has enough blood to feed 3 vampires.
Oh, that's a. Um,
They're ghoul maxing.
let's see. Miriam Bashir. I think she's a recruiter. Gail Salcedo just likes to kill people. He got kicked off the local police as he gets the thrill of having people's lives in his hands, and now he's not held back by any superiors with ideas about how he ought to do his job.
So what they accidentally created is you have 2 characters. You have Gail Salcado, which I think is who is it? I think it's this person, and then
It's the black.
okay, so the black guy. So they're playing a bit of an inversion of a buddy cop movie.
Well, I like to. He gets 100% client satisfaction. Nobody needs to know it's because he intimidates dissatisfied clients with nebulous threats of police attention.
Because oh, that actually reminds me. That actually reminds me of a dude who used to work on Uber who got in trouble because what happened was he kept AI generating images of the interior of his car to look like the fucking clients trashed it, so that he would be able to pocket more of their, pocket their money for having to clean up. Yeah, I mean, there are either former police officers or former security that would do stuff like that because they want to be Billy Badass.
And
Also,
then
they
we
have a
have,
Karen.
yep, Penny.
It's just a Karen.
Then we go on
She has
to
supernatural threats, by the way. Also, she's like a genius hacker. I don't know. She feels like the type of person who wouldn't know how to type in a 4-letter password, and you have to. Yeah, you ever have that person on an IT call where they go, "Hey, how do I put in my password?" It's password, and instead of A, it's the number 4. I tried that, but it didn't work. Is it in caps lock? No, no. Clearly, you hear them turning caps lock off. I don't know. She feels like the type of person that would give their computer a blue screen of death just trying to turn it on. She feels like the type of person that would shove in a floppy disk sideways in a fucking in a
they look like they eat
disk.
vamps. Closing straw.
You're not wrong. Oh no, that's
Well,
the
let's.
sparrow. That's the sparrow because yeah, I think she's committed amaranth at least 3 times. Only she didn't realize that you're not supposed to eat them body and soul like the Nagaraja do. What I'm trying to say is
But
she's eaten at least a few dozen pounds of flesh.
but next up though is Special Affairs Division, and it's just Delta Green.
It is both. It's
It is.
actually closer to Vascu, and this is the project. We have to go through this one because this is one of the ones that they created for Project Twilight, which is a pretty fun hunter book.
So it's
It's
the
also to
oldest
complement Vampire and
yeah,
Werewolf.
oldest secular organization dedicated to combating supernatural encounters. Founded in the 50s by J. Edgar Hoover, investigating ghosts, aliens, werewolves, clairvoyants, and vampires.
Also,
And
don't forget. Well, no, he founded them to fight the greatest threat of all, and you know what
black
those
people.
are? Gay black people from outer space.
Oh no, I was gonna actually gay just black people that advocated for civil rights.
Oh yeah, that's the other reason. Martin Luther King was some type of supernatural monster.
He's getting people to go along with nonviolence, but they're not white. Everything I know about them says that they're supposed to be violent. I mean, it's not like we've created a society that would predispose them to be violent towards authorities that hurt them. That's impossible.
Well, no, he just hated him because he was a black communist that didn't want to fuck him in his dress. I will not touch you in that dress, Hoover. Oh, fine, I'll fucking show you. Hey, guy, can you shoot him? Speaking of which, did you know that Hoover actually was plotting a hit on him, and another guy
What?
beat him to it?
What?
Yeah, yeah. He had a small team of hit guys that were designed to take care of problems. I forget
What?
the name of one of them, but he was planning a hit, I think, on Martin Luther
I'm
King at one
sorry.
point.
I'm sorry. White leaders of the intelligence agencies in the 50s, 60s. What did you really think that that guy was gonna be that much of a threat?
Yeah, because they thought he was a pinko. Because he did
Even if he was,
he,
who
he did advocate for some of it. Yeah,
he
you
had
don't
no ties to
understand.
the Soviets.
You don't understand. He said positive things occasionally about like Castro before the Cuban
Oh,
administration went wrong.
oh yeah, then fuck him.
Well, in fairness, I think it was like because at the
Well,
time
no,
this was like
I mean
early
that.
'60s Castro. We're
Yeah,
not talking later.
I mean that I can understand why. Oh yeah,
Like I think he said one or two things because it was in protest, not because he liked Castro, but I think it was like of the Batista regime. Like I don't remember, but he said enough stuff that like there's reasons that the FBI was interested in him. The problem was J. Edgar Hoover just really fucking hated black activists a lot. He fucking
yeah.
despised them.
MLK was an Avengers level threat.
According to J. Edgar Hoover, he was perfectly equal as all things should be. And you see his fucking Infinity Gauntlet, and it's just a bunch of stones of different skin colors. He snaps his fingers, and they all turn basic beige, like perfect mix of color. I don't know.
Nixon being Kang the Conqueror.
Wait, that implies he beat his wife. I mean, he
Heck,
committed he committed crimes, but not that.
no, no, wait, no, then Nixon's Doctor Doom.
I'm just envisioning. Who's this Reed Richards? Is it Kennedy?
Oh
Kennedy!
no, no, who did he? Uh, the people at Watergate. Who was the guy?
Oh, those two journo scums that eventually overrated themselves into irrelevance. Yeah.
The journalists.
Journalists! But yeah,
I
the
believe
SAD has been
that's.
around for a long time, and they forged works with the Catholic Church because back in the old lore, the SAD worked with the Society of St. Leopold because they have worked and dealt with fucking vampires for centuries, and they were trying to figure out how the shit worked.
Then 9/11 happened.
Yeah, that can cause some damage.
No, it can cause a lot of benefits because now we can freely surveil our own citizens.
Thank you,
Now,
Patriot Act.
as
Very
Angel
cool.
Arroyo is saying, isn't SAD infiltrated by everyone in the NWO heads at all?
Yes,
NWO doesn't exist. Remember.
the SAD in the old world of darkness was heavily infiltrated by a variety of supernatural critters. That's not to say the organization was completely rotten, but let's be fair, if you're going to have apostates or renegades from this organization, there's a reason why there would be. The NWO effectively headed it by the end of the era.
Also, so who caused 9/11 in the old world?
Um I always had this Mandela effect memory of the eldest doing it because he became a kaiju that just like destroyed it from within.
Let's just say Mo.
So Z Star Euro, how are we feeling about Vamp 6? It's gonna suck. I
Doesn't
don't
exist.
expect it to be good. It exists.
So let's see. The SAD is not antagonist to all hunter cells, and but they might contract Alpha with heavy stipulations.
Oh yeah, you're right, because they became a small group of aging, discredited eccentrics to a large, well-funded, quasi-militarized counterterrorism. Yeah, it is Delta Green again.
It's just fuck. Yeah, it's just fucking Delta Green.
Actually, it's worse than that. Do you want to know what they've done because they decided to be assholes? They combined Task Force Valkyrie with Vascu
Oh,
because the whole counter-terrorist unit element is the Valkyrie, that is Task Force Valkyrie, which if you're curious, they formed in the Chronicles of Darkness. They formed in response to a vampire sending his ghoul to kill Lincoln. Yeah,
let's see.
What was it? John Wilkes Booth was a ghoul, and the Secret Service
Who was
formed a specific task force to take them out with a vengeance.
who was his vampire then?
Uh, I think it might have been a Ventrue. I think it was a Ventrue that had this belief that Lincoln was there to kill him.
In in DC, or was there's
Uh,
another southern gentleman?
I mean, I know in the World of Darkness, it was a conspiracy by the Ventrue and Toreador to kill him. Mainly because they were bitter about losing their chattel in the war, because a lot of them became slave owners for a couple of reasons. One, it allowed them to pretend to be lords again, because remember, the Venture were originally more like kings than businessmen, so it felt nostalgic to a lot of them. And you know how the Southern Belle Epoch had a lot of lovely buildings and that kind of, that stuff that's fantasized about? The Toreador loved that shit, and they did not want Lincoln to ruin it. So
Yeah.
in the World of Darkness, it was a conspiracy to kill him, if I remember right.
Now let's see. SAT is primarily a law enforcement agency that investigates occult-related terrorism. And because blank bodies are not human, they aren't subject to human rights like the right to a fair trial.
I mean, that's one way to interpret it.
Uh, they go after blank bodies who run various forms of organized crime, including illegal trafficking of humans and for work or food.
Which is a big problem. The Setites were guilty of doing that quite a bit.
So you do actual investigation, uh,
Well, good.
and once it's enough to pursue, you get your forensics agents, your researchers, your undercover agents. Um,
They
you
also
make the
reference
extensive
First
use
Light,
of
by the way.
well, Alex, the extensive use of profiles, since vampires, like serial killers, are creatures of habit.
Correct. Mainly because Ventrue, one of them, the Ventrue, tends to have a preferred type. Which, if you're curious, that's actually a common thing with serial killers.
Hmm.
That it's actually to the point where I think it was the Son of Sam killer originally was thought to target specifically, I think it was brunette women, because the first two kills he made were from brunette women. And when in reality it was just convenience at the time.
So then they try to take out the bloodsucker with minimal loss of life.
Okay, fair enough. Also, if you, I do like the choice of basing them in Quantico, which, if you're curious, for everyone who's not aware, Quantico is where the FBI is headquartered.
That's in Virginia.
Yep, it's south. It's south and around Norfolk, if I remember right.
And yeah, and their classified activities steer from judicial and legislative authorities, as well as I would probably assume executive.
Hmm.
Mild infractions may result in agents firing or transfer. For agents with highly sensitive information, summary execution, detainment in off-book secure sites, or assignments to dangerous operations are common forms of censure.
And if you're curious, the term ghoul originates in Vampire the Masquerade. It's used for clarity of the rules. Hunters and hunters use a variety of terms. The vampires of Hunter don't necessarily match up to the kindred of vampire. So don't feel too beholden to the terms and lore from that game.
I mean
Eh,
that.
on the one hand, I get it,
Oh,
but like the way they framed it's so bad.
but it's the same setting.
So, okay, here's the thing, and this is what makes this iteration much worse about it than earlier ones, right? The earlier Vampire games and the earlier World of Darkness games, what they made a point of doing repeatedly was they said that no chronicle, even if it's in the same city, even if you use like the adventures, like let's say you used Chicago by night, no two Chicagos will be the same. Like, the player groups will be different. You might choose to change up. Like, maybe you don't want Prince Loden. Maybe you want Loden to be a different character.
Okay,
That sort of thing.
I
So,
see
what
that.
they did was, when they started introducing splats, they said, okay, in the event you don't have these splats, here's the equivalent of what you would do for them. Like, instead of the werewolves having these gifts, they would give them a certain thaumaturgy that matched it, like certain
Oh
blood
yeah, didn't
magic.
they? Well, I mean, they did. That's how they kind of did that starting out.
But they also said that they don't have to necessarily treat them as the same. Then they kind of combined them because a lot of players enjoyed that. There's a lot of people that enjoy playing around with splats. Storytellers, because it allows you to use an antagonist. Think about it like this, right? Your characters are progressed into becoming ancillae, and you're pretty big powers in the Vampire City politics. How would you feel if you then had to deal with a cabal of money magi? Like a cabal of fucking syndicate who basically realized you're developing a hell of an economy there, and they want to buy you out and wring you dry. Instead of making it another vampire threat, it's a way to throw a curveball. Or what if you want to build up the werewolf tribe that's haunting them in the bayous of Louisiana? So what you do is you look up what they are. Oh, the Black Spiral Hell yeah. Let's use the Black Spiral Dancers to harass our poor fucking kindred. Or
And speaking of
Ratkin.
a Black Spiral Dancer,
But yeah, what they're trying to
Biggie,
do is they're copying out. Oh, you snuck in?
yeah,
I like to think myself more as a glass walker when it comes to my favorite werewolf.
Well, yeah, you're a cyber dog. Hey there, that's
Yes.
Biggs. And we are covering.
I
Sorry.
So this is vampire. No, not vampire. This is 5e or 5v, whatever the fuck they call it.
This is Hunter the Reckoning, 5th edition. And this is the book called.
Apostates.
Thank you. The PDF, I saved it as Wagey Hunter.
No, that's what that's what I changed it to.
And I kept it that way because it's funny.
Adam, you didn't just get another copy of iHunt now, did you?
We skipped that part. So since you missed a good chunk of it, we're currently on something from the actual games, from the old games. The SAD. It is a government agency. They're basically an FBI branch that is designed to kill Bigfoot with guns. Or force him to pay
I like guns.
taxes.
So how painful would you? So I guess now that I'm here and now that you've done it a bit, how painful would you say it is so far?
It's
Somewhat.
it's a
More
lot
gore.
better. It's a lot better than the original Hunter Splat.
Because there's now organizations.
I would say the organizations mostly make sense. I feel like Arcanum was stolen from somewhere, but I like it.
I am slightly pissed because I remember in the original Hunter book they had a guy for the religious section, and it's this Orthodox Jew with a hammer.
Yes, they don't have that in this one.
Where's my Orthodox Chabadniks murdering fucking vampires?
Well, when did this? Hold on, when did this come out?
2025 or 2022.
Well, 2022.
No, the main game.
Well,
this came out 2025.
Well, you see, my good friend, from the rivers to the sea, Palestine will be free. That's your answer.
Probably. He might have been erased because of that. So yeah, if you're curious on where we are, FBI branch, these are actually from the old World of Darkness. A major plot element was that they were kind of
actually, wait.
infested by vampires and so
I've got another organization idea then. It is members of Hamas that realized something else was in their tunnels.
Oh, you did what I did. If you're curious, so way back when I used to run Vampire the Masquerade Chronicles, like for the first time ever as a storyteller and GM, one of the hunter groups that I came up with were Islamic fanatics who specialized in flamethrower weaponry and incendiary IEDs because they saw vampires as spawns of Iblis.
Were you big readers of the original Hunter book? Because that's one of the splat books actually for Hunter, where it goes over details of the Middle East.
This was just I came up with it on the fly because I originally did not want to use the Society of Leopold, mainly because the game I originally ran was an LA Night by Night Chronicle, or like an LA by Night Chronicle, based on the aftermath of Bloodlines. It didn't go out too well. I then did another version that was in Phoenix that was a little smoother.
Is this the one where they double lariat themselves, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, that's the one where they double lariated a gangster and knocked his head off like a fucking baseball. It was great. Some other great moments of note was the time Aravnos made a bunch of gangbangers think they got shot because he made their reality hallucination feel like they got shot. Basically, he genjutsu'd them so hard with so many successes they fell over in agony from the pain that wasn't real from getting shot.
Damn.
Yeah. There are some wild times in that game. A lot of incompetence too, since this was like the first time I ever was a GM.
But so you reminiscing about all the good stuff that could have been. It sounds like the best thing we could hope for fucking I want to keep saying 5th edition, but it's something stupid and gay where it's like V5. It sounds like the best
So
we
it's
can hope for
yeah. So it's
V5 in this day and age. Go ahead.
sorry. It would be H5,
Oh,
I think.
yeah, it sounds like the best we can hope for fucking like V5 in this day and age is mediocre, and
Yeah,
that's not good for a World of Darkness product.
it doesn't help that what happened was they copied a lot of the homework from the Chronicles of Darkness, which pisses off people who weren't really interested in New World of Darkness. And they don't do it well. Like, yeah, congratulations, blood potency is a more effective method of getting vampires to get stronger without committing amaranth, which you can still do, by the way. What you do is you just fucking eat a vampire that's stronger than you. But it fucks with the generation thing. A lot of the stuff was baked in. With hunters, it's imbued. It's supposed to be baked in. They threw it out and just turned it individual. But yeah,
I always had. Oh, go ahead.
oh, you
I
go.
was just about to say I've always had this pet theory when it came to like vampire and like certain other tabletop franchises that were like I don't know late '90s or early '20s, where like you kind of really only just need the few source books that came out, and like anything else that they try to make that brings into like the digital age is just kind of useless. I don't know if this is necessarily a right opinion to have, but seeing shit like this kind of I don't know validates my opinions on that.
You're not wrong. One of the concerns with the World of Darkness is it's a massive product of its time, which is both to its benefit and detriment. Mainly because this is before the mass surveillances of everything. Now, a solution you could just do, and I think this is what you probably should do, just have like the Nosferatu use that as like their power. Like ShrekNet has the ability to digitally edit out photos and shit of vampire. Because
I
there's
mean,
so many things. There's like
we've got
smartphones.
yeah,
There's
we've got
cameras.
we have the AI now.
Yeah, you could also just have that. And honestly, that could have been just a method for. Oh, here's a funny idea. The virtual adepts created. It's not the technocracy that created AI. It's not Iteration X that did it. It's the virtual adepts. Do you want to know why?
They needed somebody to fuck.
Well, yes, it allows them to improve their Horizon realm by allowing them to fuck all the iterations of Samus Aran and like fucking Mila Jovovich back when she was young. But it's specifically because it allows you to use vulgar magic again.
Ooh.
Because think about it, if you just constantly have photorealistic people throwing fireballs, that means if people take photos of you singeing a man alive, they'll just think it's AI.
Maybe we could say AI currently today will grow up to become the God machine, and there's a time paradox going on. Maybe you can imply that. Maybe
It's not
that's
a
a new
time
little.
paradox. It's just it created itself.
We do have a question from Star Euro about the concept of how they would handle Mage, and same with Private Penguin. Do you think 60 is going to have Mage? I think they're too stupid to do Mage. If you're curious, Mage kind of came about because. So here's the thing, right? The World of Darkness
Because
came about because of Ars Magica. The
yeah,
company that it was from went bankrupt. White Wolf, the publisher, bought it, or at least hired on two of the creators for it. But the problem was when they were making Mage, it didn't really work for the system that they were working with initially. They had ideas, but they didn't really know how to make it work. So if you're ever wondering why Phil Bricado actually was kind of important and why you have to give him some respect, even though you can make fun of him for being a weirdo who loves his cats too much, he made Mage
Cat
playable.
milk.
Yeah, cat milk. He loves his cat milk too much. What I think will happen is if they do a mage, they're going to treat it like linear magic. They'll treat it like sorcerer.
You just know Elon Musk is going to be a part of the technocracy. That's what they're going to say. That's how lame it's going to be.
Oh, God, yeah.
even though he should be.
I
I
mean,
mean,
I would say
he technically would be syndicate because he's able to make up all these promises to people and they just accept it.
a syndicate. You could also argue he could be a void engineer that's really corrupt. Like a really corrupt void engineer.
Just a spirit of greed is possessing him, and he doesn't know why, which is also making him racist.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to ask too for this version of May for Hunter, Old Hunter kind of had like a thing where it's like they made up their own bullshit, and Old World of Darkness says, yeah, no, the other people, the other beings, they rarely interact with one another. Does this thing just go full hog and said, yeah, go fight the Tremere, bitch?
No.
Yes and no.
They don't know. They don't know what the
reference
Tremere is.
They reference it in the book that had child abuse every 42 pages. They reference them bombing the Tremere Chantry in the one with the with
With the
cheesy pizza every 41.5 pages.
well, no, it was about the music industry, which yeah, let's be fair, that's actually not that.
But that's a newer book.
Yeah,
Micro
that's not
This
that
book came out
inaccurate.
prior to this one, I think. That one, I think. And this one, they committed to the bit of splitting the splats. So the term ghoul comes from Vampire the Masquerade, and they use the term ghoul for it. But what they're doing is saying, no, these aren't the same vampires, mainly because that's a way so that hunters don't die like frogs in blenders. Essentially, if you don't have the
Oh,
splat, I think they'll cook up how to handle vampires.
oh, and Private Penguin's right. Yep, there was a new childlike Vorman alter.
Oh
Remember
yeah,
the Vormans?
yeah, they fucked up everything.
Yeah, there's a third personality that's a child
Yeah,
in an adult body.
Oh, Adam, don't sound like you ever had hope in the first place.
I didn't. I actually fully expect Paradox will somehow Chapter 11 bankruptcy, and the current CEO will somehow find themselves rotting in a gulag somewhere in Russia.
So
Adam, I have the perfect idea how to save both Paradox and White Wolf. Crusader Kings 3, but we're putting in Vampire Medieval in it.
There's a good mod for
they
that already.
they already have a mod for that.
They have a mod for it,
Oh,
and what'll
God.
happen is if Paradox actually does do it, they're gonna fucking sue the mod, steal everything from it, like they've done with every fucking. They have done that so many times recently. Like for the last 5 years, they've just been stealing from the mod community, just to add to their
All,
fucking game.
all game companies do that, unfortunately.
It's pretty horrible. But anyway,
So
back to the SAD. Why do people
yeah,
leave the SAD, the strategic whatever? Fuck, I already forget the name of it.
the Monster Hunter.
Special Affairs Division.
Delta Green.
Delta Green. Why do they leave Delta Green?
Well, mainly because they
They're
get
not Mormon.
burnout.
I would say it's because
Guilt,
they're not Mormon.
yeah, loss of it, guilt over the loss of innocence, disrespect from the higher education, being fat. Some wonder why they're so deliberative about investigations if there'll be no trial after. And of course, if you become disillusionized, and of course, if you don't follow procedure, because then you're not fighting monsters, you're a terrorist with a government paycheck.
I still think they should have gone with the gag that it's because you're not a white Mormon man with a clean cut. If you're curious, the FBI is very much prone to preferring to hire out Mormons.
It's
They,
MOG, Mormon occupied government.
yeah, because
Yeah.
well, after the Republican Party's first platform was to kill all Mormons, the Mormons decided, you know what? Let's be friendly with the United States.
Republican Party, you are supposed to destroy the Mormons, not ally with them.
Look, all I'm just gonna say is if the Mormons, interfered, during the Civil War, they could have fucking cut off access to California, and the Union would have been fucked.
Why would they have?
Also, Private Penguin has nailed my point exactly. So the Special Affairs Division was from the original World of Darkness. In Metaplot standards, it and Fairlight were taken over by the NWO by the end of the run, and heavily infested with a shadow war between, I think it was like the Shadow Lords and several vampire clans too. It was a fucking rat house. And that's actually why the Imbued became a lot more noteworthy, because, yeah, they could discern that shit. In the Chronicles, these guys are more based on Vascu, but with a twist. They then turn into Project Valkyrie and start blasting. Which, if you're curious, not Project Valkyrie, Task Force Valkyrie. Fuck, this book is cooking my brain.
Then we have our sample characters.
Yeah, because there's also just a terrorist, like the false
Well,
flag terrorist.
it's like your character. It's that you've decided. No, she said, "Fuck you" to the SAD, and is going to do open hunting against the blank bodies. And if that makes her a terrorist, so be it.
Oh, hey, they actually have attitudes and stereotypes in this one. I don't know if the other ones did, but here they are, and they
Some of
also
them did,
include
but
Bope.
Yep.
They include Bope. And also
Scary
First
but
Light.
elite.
Yeah, Bope literally will murder children. Like, you know that bit we covered for Revenge where it's I won't murder a kid for 15K. These motherfuckers do it for free. And on government money.
Oh no, I was about to say I'm not on off hours too. If they're looking at them funny.
Yeah. So here's the top 10 most wanted for Special Affairs Division. Honore Hope Steffens, a literal fucking buck 10
Accountant.
soaking wet.
Oh, this is Edward Snowden. This is just Edward Snowden.
Oh, that's lame.
Uh,
Oh, actually, yeah, you're right, because I think they've used this character before, and it sucked then, too.
Genevieve Marshall, leader of Red Dawn Dallas, a political commune of extremists.
Okay.
Members of the commune ritualistically drink each other's blood.
They sound fucking terrible.
Anarchs. Lycanthrope that destroys technology. Victor Datlow breaks into victims' houses and sucks his victims dry.
Finally, we actually have someone that's not like a 5'6", like buck 10 woman. Sorry, I was just noticing that.
And then we have Agent Cog.
Yeah, you don't know?
Not
Clog.
factually accurate. You can't take me down.
Clog.
Nobody's gonna know who the fuck Clog is in this chat. This audience doesn't know this fucker.
We've referenced him earlier.
Yeah, we referenced him.
Oh god.
We actually collaborated with another channel called Galliard Group, which if look them up at some point after this stream, if you haven't, and watch some of their stuff. They do a lot of werewolf books. They've done a lot of other World of Darkness stuff. They don't really touch the Chronicles like we do, though. But we did a collab with them on Cog, who's basically Alex Jones with a Hitler mustache. If you're curious, Biggs. Not really, but that's how we envision him because he's essentially written to be like Alex Jones.
Well, that's cooler than the Cog I know.
Yeah, he's a lot cooler than the Cog, you know.
Yeah. For instance, he's not British.
Yeah, he's from Texas.
Yeah.
So, name unknown, a blank body survivor of a joint ESOG raid on a monastery, and starts butchering people who destroyed the I'm presuming chantry.
Amanda head
Brown.
of a cartel manufacturing and distributing a drug made out of blank body blood, which, hey, that's something they've done before. This is a storyline that's been done before. It works fine.
Then we have Amanda Brown, who is, what would it be, 15th generation?
Yeah.
Half-blood?
Possibly.
And then unknown. Something tore apart the Kansas office and everyone working there late. Lisa Mamatas, science in the research department, stole blueprints secret, headed to Eastern Europe. And then any member of the circulatory system, which is a human trafficking ring.
Which, hey, that's basically they're going to war with the Setites.
And remember, I believe the circulatory system was referenced in that romance book we reviewed.
It was. By the way, that's a much lamer version of the Setite human trafficking ring. Here's the sample characters. By the way, here's Mulder and Scully. It's Mulder and Scully. Thank you. Very cool.
And then we have Brandon Sayas, poster boy for the field agent. Kill 'em all, let God sort 'em out.
Yep.
Eugenia Kim. Special agent monitoring recent contractors and ex-employees who left in the last 5 years.
I think she could beat people to death with her nose.
Dominic
do you think
Russo.
Do you think she can store like pill bottles up there? I feel like she could store like maybe an entire vampire's worth of vitae in that nose.
That was Scully we saw above. Now meet Mulder. Look at that guy.
Or as I like to call him, Balder.
He looks like an X for Nikado Avocado.
And yeah, he worked his way up his hierarchy. And then Dr. Christopher James. Gay scientist. And I don't know if he's gay or not, but he looks looks
like the type of person who would post biblical quotes on his Twitter account, and then you just catch him with like 15 other guys in a gay nightclub.
Yeah, I do like though the ad that comes up next here. Sad Heroes Diversity Event. Are you a female between the ages of 25 and 35? Are you African American, Asian American, Pacific Islander, Hispanic, a member of the LGBTQIA+ community? Have you spent the last 2 years as special agent, forensics analyst, researcher, and FBI SWAT team? We'd love to meet you. At this event at 10 a.m. No weapons. A pinprick blood sample and a pat will be required. Auditorium doors will be locked at 10:05 and will not be open until 1 p.m. Do not adjust the blinds or touch the light switches for any reason.
In fairness, this is something the FBI actually desperately did. This is actually a reference. You remember that terrible commercial where it's like they got the one Mexican woman to
Yeah,
to fucking talk about her ethnicity, her gender. This is actually a
as a
parody of
member
that.
of the FBI, as a member of the CIA, because as you know, we at the CIA respect minority communities all across the world. We
Yes.
respect them so much that we arm them.
It's a nod to that. I will say that it probably won't age well in time, but it's a fine
It fits
joke.
the yeah. And then next, Society of Saint Leopold.
Oh boy, one of the most classic hunter
Look,
groups in the games.
they're back at them.
Now,
Can't escape them.
Leopold, after many years of torturing Cathars and Jews, stumbled across actual monsters,
Okay.
and they posed more. And he found that they posed more of an urgent threat to Christendom than heretics and other religions.
I mean, yeah,
Look, I'm
yeah, that's fair enough. I would also argue that if I remember, was Leopold of Myrna, was it because he ran into the Cainite heresy? Is that why? I'm not familiar with the backstory of the society completely, but I wouldn't be surprised if he ran into a member of the Cainite heresy, which is what led him on the vampire slaying quest. Which, if you're curious for those who don't know what it is, it's different from the Cainites of the Chronicles of Darkness. In this one, it's a Gnostic faith which believes that there are three Cains and the third Cain shall appear in the 1200s. It was kind of a millenarian Gnostic Christian death cult that the vampires started. So I feel like Leopold of Murnau would be responsible for partially slaying them because there was the First Inquisition.
But
Basically, that's where
they
these guys come from.
they now have the backing of the Catholic Church and are ready to kick ass for the Lord.
Fair enough. And it culminates in the NSA penetrating ShrekNet.
Yep.
And this leads to them all collaborating to total vampire death.
And however, they
Oh,
have though broken up into
oh,
separate traditions.
What are you going to say, Biggs?
Yeah.
I was just about to say, so is True Faith the thing in this edition, or did
I
they chuck that
think
out the fucking window?
They might
I
have
think there
thrown
is
it
some
in
truth to it.
somewhere.
Oh
But
boy.
so you've got the main sect, the traditionalists, who believe that vampires are Satan's mockery of Holy Communion and the resurrection of Christ. Others maintain that they're antediluvian spirits possessing and animating corpses, so the threat of ghosts must be addressed. You have the Sisterhood of St. Clair, uncloistered women monastics who suspect vampires and werewolves are sick and must be snuffed out, but not taking a call to violence.
What the fuck? The Sisterhood of St. Clair is an actual religious organization.
Wait, what?
That's the female branch of the Franciscan order. That's
Wait,
that's the nun organization from the Franciscans.
wait, what?
You see, Adam, you,
St.
you think
Francis
they
of
have to do
Assisi,
this?
yeah.
No, not again.
Yeah, this is an actual
They're
religious
referencing
organization.
history. Apparently, though, they have. Oh no, they've referenced them previously, not just in this, but in Hunter's Hunted as well.
Okay, so this is a fuck up from early White Wolf. Yeah, the Sisterhood of St. Clair, for those curious, it's a real organization.
Wait, there's a difference.
Spelling?
You see, I think
Could be a spelling. That might have been what they did.
Now that no, it's Claire, CLARE, but in this CLAIRE.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just fucked up spelling it because they thought it would just be pronounced Claire. But no, yeah, the Sisterhood of St. Clare is an actual Catholic body.
Then we have the San Benito heresy, claiming that all creatures are God's creatures and can be saved. No. Sometimes things are just completely unnatural and must be destroyed.
I don't dislike the concept though of the San Benito.
I mean,
heresy.
yes, but obviously in this world, no.
I also wouldn't call them a heresy necessarily. I mean they are, but like I would have had it be like an order that fell into disgrace.
Okay, so a Lord Baby
Yeah,
like
Redeemers again.
Could somebody tell me what the difference is between the Order of Saint Leopold and the Second Inquisition?
They're part of the same It's part of the same thing.
The Second Inquisition is basically just a mass extermination of vampires.
It's total vampire death, where the SAD, First Light, basically every government bureaucracy in America has decided to hate on vampires because, for whatever reason, Vampire 5th Edition, they decided to go with the idea that vampires are like an analogy for the gays.
They are. They
I
keep
mean,
sucking me off, Adam.
it
I
keeps
want these vampires to stop sucking me off.
it can't stop. It's too good.
Stop sucking me.
No. Yeah, the second one, Private Penguin has it right. Second Inquisition is the name that vamps have for the phenomenon, because it's similar to the First Inquisition, where what happened was in the First Inquisition, for those of you who are not aware, because you mostly played Chronicles, a lot of vampires were really goddamn blatant with their powers and abusing it. Nothing worse than in southern France with a Toreador by the name of Vulgaire, who essentially learned how vicissitude worked to turn people into statues. He also did a lot of horrible things to children, women. He was a complete monster and possibly a source of the Albigensian Crusade. There was also just the La Sombra entering a millenarian phase and going completely fucking bonkers. There was a lot of fucking insanity. Oh, and also the Brujah were just fist fighting everyone in the equivalent of a Denny's in the Taberna at 3 a.m. It was not very
Man,
subtle.
these vampires are assholes.
Yeah, vampires are assholes.
I think I'd rather take the friends up at their ass they could be. At least the werewolves, will bite the fuck out of whatever's, fucking you.
The werewolves want to totally kill humans, though. At least some of them do.
Oh, that's just the Red Talons.
No, there's other ones that kind of think that too.
Okay, maybe the Wendigos too, but they're racist. I don't like them.
Don't forget the Children of Gaia, who's like, hey man, why not let the worm win and we just lay down and die in our goon caves?
And the Black Furies because they're feminist. I don't like those feminists.
But our main division is the Entity Special Operations Group.
Essentially,
These are fanatics.
So what happened was they really thought the concept of Opus Dei being a conspiracy from the Da Vinci Code was cool, so they just kind of transplanted it here.
The Gladys Day.
It's basically the Opus Dei. You remember, if you've ever
Yeah.
read the Da Vinci Code, remember the weird albino assassin man?
Never read it.
That's what they're referencing.
Yeah. The only way out is martyrdom or old age, and young apostates are to be shunned by their former comrades, if not shot.
Oh, also Private Penguin. Virtual Adepts is my only victory. No. Actually, here's the thing. The Hermetics do what the Virtual Adepts do better because they're too busy getting salty that their gay British lover, fucking Alan Turing, died. I'm not even kidding. There was I think it was called House Thrigg. House Thrigg did their fucking chaos hacking magic better than they ever did. Before they lost their minds and became a bunch of fucking internet trolls. House Chaos is pretty fucking terrible. And they go into the branches of the ESOG, like the Office of the Censor, the Archives. I think the Evangelical Friends of St. Rita is more interesting. Wait, recanonization? Oh yeah, because sometimes saints can be removed, I think. They usually aren't venerated. Let's see, anything else? They use charities as a front for their activities. They run homeless shelters. So basic Christian charity. Their charity vans run guns and ammo.
Oh.
I'm just envisioning, like, you go to a Salvation Army shop and then all of a sudden you just, like, open one of the boxes.
It's an actual Salvation Army.
Yeah.
We're here for your soul.
I'm just imagining because, like, my grandmother is very much active in her church. She does a lot of the bake sales and stuff for them. So I'm just imagining she's making cookies for the Inquisitors.
No, she's grinding smokeless powder to assemble ammunition for the Second Inquisition. Here's your NATO rounds here's your NATO rounds with powdered silver to kill the rabid werewolves and vampires, dearie. decides to help bless Buckshot so they can shoot vampires in crow form. They
So this is the Catholic Church, of course, but like I'm just wondering too. Like, I mean, the Protestants don't got shit, if I remember correctly, right?
They do have the evangelical. You can make your own, but they also have the evangelical Friends of Saint Rita.
Maybe
they're
the Klan.
non-denominational, but yeah, for creating religious orgs, the Society of Saint Leopold is Catholic in origin and culture. When creating another religious organization at your table, consider the religion's beliefs, history, and structure. A Protestant organization may date to the horrors of the Reformation, while a charismatic organization may be new and distinctly American. These are examples of Christianity, but Christianity does not hold a monopoly on faith. Remember, these organizations aren't meant to represent a religion one-to-one, but rather the worst and a little bit of the best of a religion's treatment of people. Uh, how about you go fuck yourself? How about you
Well,
go
you gotta
fuck
understand
yourself with that take?
these are fanatics.
Yeah, but they're also fighting much worse creatures.
That's what I was about to say. But at the same time, too, there's a Nosferatu. He dragged me in the sewers and he's sucking me off. Help!
Yeah, they do that. Like you get what I mean. I get what they're going for, but when it's written by people who don't believe, or by people who don't actually try to bother with nuances. Like here's an example, right? Honest Hearts is a DLC written by an actual atheist, but at one point he was in in faith. He was in faith as a Christian, and he was trying to find it like as a Catholic, right? He wrote Honest Hearts with that in mind. He didn't shit on the organization. A better
And
example would
the other
be
thing is,
you show their flaws but what they do.
he said he was a Catholic and he was writing from the perspective of a fucking Mormon.
Well, yeah, if you're curious, the way that Joshua Graham's entire like crisis is very more Catholic oriented than Mormon, but the concepts and principles still work. Because the entire point is he's the prodigal son.
Who gives a fuck? Just who's sneering imperialist all the time, baby. Massacres.
But no, like I get that they will have their worst elements because again, I'm the guy that came up with an actual and like conspiracy that's based around Islamic extremists taking on what they see as agents of Iblis.
Unfortunately, Adam, this is what we believe, and we are also the people that want to burn the daemon because that's the good thing.
I mean,
However,
if you
these
want to
fuckers,
have Buddhist monks kung fu fight vampires to death because they think that they're like fucking spirits possessing the dead, you could do that too. Actually,
that's
think like Shinto insane radicalists where you go full IJN like suicide bombing.
that's the Eastern Book. Oh fuck, that's all the way back in the original World of Darkness.
Yeah, Quajin.
Oh god, what the fuck was? Yeah, that's Raging you're talking about, Adam.
Yeah, but think about it like
we're
this.
never
Like,
gonna get.
no,
We're
think of
never
all the
getting that
purification.
again.
Of course we're
Never
not.
ever, because Asians are up their ass now instead of embracing the kung fu.
They're seen as too white. And it's
You know.
usually like a different Asian ethnicity complaining about another Asian ethnicity, I've noticed. And just trying to use like concern.
Well, so
The other thing I was going to say is too, it's like the best and the worst. They want their grimdark,
which is fine. You do have to include their worst, but I think if you write from the point of view of a faith, you have to understand like the why and the direction and like what aspects would make sense. Like with that Muslim hunting compact, there would have been other aspects. Like they would have ran a charity. They have a madrasa where they help with studies and sort of that sort of shit. At least on the surface, and then internally they're more fanatic. Like you have to kind of yeah, Nicholas Liu brings up maybe Jews who believe they're the judges come again. Think about it like that. Like imagine like a serial killer rabbi who believes that he is not the final judge, but one of the judges that heralds the coming of the Messiah.
He throws the Star of David shurikens at you.
I mean, he uses a type of grenade that looks similar to a dreidel, with just the words for death, like instead of Emmet, it's met like death over and over again on it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was the joke in that one the Critic episode where Arnold Schwarzenegger played a Jew.
I mean the dreidel thing, but the concept of just writing death over and over again, like in really fine calligraphy, like really tiny calligraphy. I'm just imagining like he also has the big pointy stick. Like he has the big blessed like Celestine pointy stick just to like stab Celestine infested creatures, like Helios aligned creatures with gold.
He has a vampire, at shotgun point.
He has
before
to
he pulls the
abstain from
trigger.
alcohol, and he doesn't cut his hair, so he's a Nazarite. So he's like has super. He has potence. He has potence and can like
Before,
throw cars.
before he blows away the vampire that he has at shotgun point, he says to him, "That's not kosher." Before
Menorah
blowing his
flamethrower.
brains out.
Nicholas Liu, are you just looking at Trench Crusade again? Because the Jews have that. It's a menorah flamethrower.
No, we don't have. They haven't made them yet, but come on, menorah flamethrower.
Especially since it uses olive oil. Blessed olive oil flamethrower.
No, it's napalm.
Yeah, it's napalm.
I don't know if this is the best respect we've ever had to the Jewish community or the biggest disrespect.
Oh no, it's respect.
I'm just envisioning him.
Is
Oh
it?
no, think about it. Lupine are Guru / Lupine. They're dogs, right? Dogs are weak to onions. Smother them.
What?
Remember, dogs are onions are poisonous to dogs. So okay, hear me out. He disguises himself as a chef and kills the werewolves with latkes because they use onions in the ingredients.
I would have said chocolate because that's what I know dogs die from.
He kills them. Death by babka. Death by babka.
I don't even know if that's a real word you used at me.
It's a real sweet. It's a type of
Yeah,
bread.
it's a real thing. So, moving back on to the rest of the organization. So you really can't leave. So
Because
you're
it's
gonna
faith.
die.
Hey, it's the Acandala Obscura chick. After killing her priest, I think.
And we do get then more characters like Isabella Aguilar, born to be an inquisitor. No intention of leaving, but she enjoys small acts of rebellion, like collecting items from her missions.
Well, there's also like little things like the Nails of Christ, the Order of the Rose. These are all. Oh wait, never mind. Let's move on.
Yeah.
This is just
We
This is just that chick from what is it? From Revenge again? No, from Sad. This is just the chick from
yeah.
Sad with a different head.
Then we have Colin Davis. Uh, joined the Society of Leopold while in seminary, but dropped out when he realized his temperament was better suited to being a censor than tending a flock.
He's a meme. You know that nerdy kid, the meme where it's like show up to a party, everyone leaves. That's him.
Yeah.
That's just him, but made black with a Generation Alpha haircut.
Then we have our Christian counselor Nathan Green.
He looks like a serial killer.
No,
he looks
rarely
like
goes
Ted
on.
Bundy.
No, wait. Yeah, no, he rarely goes on hunts himself, and instead sends mentees to do the mission himself.
So he's pleased by the survival rates on these missions, which even by church standards is low.
And
so
then
he
Sister
sends children to die.
For Christ.
For Jesus.
Then we have Sister Astrid Hain. What is she?
She's from she's a Franciscan.
Yep.
By the way, if you want to really be sinister with the Order of Saint Leopold, the Society of Saint Leopold, I would have made her, instead of Mr. Catholic Man, Mr. I send my children to die for me, I would have made this bitch the big villain. You want to know why? You ever heard the term "get them by 5 and you have them for life"? That's a Franciscan prayer. That's a Franciscan saying, because one of the first things they were known for doing is funding public schools so they can get their hands on children to teach them the Bible and Christ. Because if you get them young, you got them for life. So have it be that she basically is taking advantage of like fucking poor war-torn communities to just essentially get agents that she then sends out later in life, basically as a mentor / scourge against all that is evil.
Have like the cynic, have like a contrast between like a cynical like league leader.
Yeah, like maybe have the camp. Okay, hear me out. The camp counselor, he's like, "Oh, you made it back! How wonderful!" Like he's actually happy, and like he doesn't understand that he just sent like 90% of his team to die. And he like tries to get them into like a fucking song that they made it back. Like just play it up that like he's just like completely delusional. Also, this dude is fucked. He's in a wheelchair. Like, come on, man.
That's just me.
I'm sorry, but there's a
And
reason you keep getting sucked by Nosferatu, man.
God damn it.
You need to get
and
out of that chair. You're not capable.
All right, so I'll just talk about religions. Made me realize something, Adam. Do you want to feel depression? What I'm about to say.
Oh boy.
How does it feel knowing that if they tried making a Demon V5, it would probably make you want to blow your brains out? Did they even attempt that?
I'm curious on if they would commit to going Fallen or just say fuck it and commit to Descent. Will they go
They
with
would
the actual
probably do some
biblical
like
demon, or will they actually say fuck it and go full Nephilim robot?
they would probably do like a mixture of both. Is what I would imagine.
Yeah, they'd probably just steal the mechanics but keep the veneer. I never was a big fan of Demon the Fallen personally.
I think it's a very interesting idea, and I think they work better as antagonists.
They do, but they also retcon the entire metaphysics of the setting, and I don't really care for that.
To be fair, World of Darkness retconning, that's kind of like ham on
Yeah,
cheese.
I mean, yeah, because every time, like literally, the difference between first and revised was the Mage War fucked everything up.
Well, the problem is too, it's just like, all your people can do all this amazing shit. And like there has to be a point where it's like, okay, so what point does like everybody else take notice? And then it just kind of leads to a clusterfuck. We're not even getting into the fact like a fucking antediluvian woke up and killed all the Indians and nobody cared. Or maybe they were just all that grateful.
Oh God, yeah. So here's a bunch of different organizations like Delphic Investments.
like I don't know, they're just kind of dull.
Founded by
Or
college
they're
dropouts to avoid the stock market crash, it's basically an investment for. This is just a shittier version of the Bridge Commission, essentially.
the Gates of Alexander, uh, an academic organization of
Yeah,
pseudoscience
yeah,
and
like Delphic Investments
cryptozoology.
is just like what? Why are they involved in hunting?
Because
You got
money, it's
Project
capital. Adam,
Twilight.
the real monster is capitalism all along.
Uh, you've
I
Like
got
get the
I can
cable heat by
understand
my
these guys
father.
specializing in fighting against the like fucking syndicate or something, or the Glasswalkers. Like if they were dealing with that, but that's basically the Bridge Commission, but shit.
Unfortunately, Adam, that's very narrow. You see, I need my capitalistic, man. He wants to make profit, and he's going to fight the Ventru over there.
You just get the
That's the
CD. You
plot.
just get the FC. You just get the FTC on their ass. You just get You just get the finance department on their ass. Like, come on.
Oh
So
no, you see, these groups that we made, they need to be very interactive. They can't be narrow. They can fit in any occasion all the time, and we're going to sell models of them too. They can be used all everywhere. Because fuck you.
next one's Gates of Alexander, as you mentioned him, and this is basically Black Hogwarts.
uh,
It's basically Black Hogwarts that accepts everyone because it's Black Arcanum.
Mediterranean Hogwarts.
It's gay Black Mediterranean Hogwarts.
So Cyprus,
Yeah, it's Cypriot Hogwarts.
Then we got Project Twilight,
That one
Vampire,
sucks.
the Real Cognistas.
Okay, so Project Twilight is a reference to an actual thing. Like there was an actual conspiracy in the government in the World of Darkness setting that involved trying to weaponize and control werewolves, if I recall correctly. And it was a Pentex it's a Pentex operation partially.
get all Pentex. You can always trust their products.
If I remember right, I could be wrong, but I know for a fact that this is a complete shit show and not exactly what it was supposed to be. And you like how it's a second thought in the Second Inquisition? Like it's like at the ass end of this fucking book. Hey, it's Incognito Report again. It sucked the first time.
Yep.
Also, if you're curious, this is essentially a shittier Net Zero.
Then we have the Red Eyes Community Watch.
If you're curious, so for those of you who don't play Hunter the Vigil, Net Zero is the internet-based Hunter compact, and their entire thing is it's essentially like a mixture of X, QAnon, and a bunch of other shit.
The Red Eyes Community Watch. This is basically just the Union from Hunter the Vigil.
Oh, it's the Union, but lame, gay, and black supremacist. Given the choice of the Egyptian logo.
Oh, Hispanic apparently. Born out of
Really?
Brazilian favela communities and autonomous zones that popped up across the world during anti-police protests. So it is black. Well, actually, no, it'd be white then.
Do you
Oh
think
yeah,
the vampires were behind Chaz?
probably.
Oh, they love Chaz.
So essentially, this is venerating a Korean, not Korean, Korean. I don't know why. I was just
A-
envisioning
A
a Korean
Korean
movie.
criminal.
Mutual aid and defense. We're communists.
So these aren't communists. These are wannabe fucking gangbangers. These are Brazilian gangbangers.
So just a regular Brazilian.
Hey.
Oh no, this is the Black Lives Matter organization. Oh god.
Oh,
That's right.
Because you have the Vancouver-based Salish Free State chapter, New York chapter. Oh, this sucks.
well, no, because you can see the image below is what happens when somebody interacts with this community.
Just a peaceful protest. It's just a peaceful
Mostly
protest.
peaceful. Fiery, but
Adam,
mostly peaceful.
You see that bat right there? That machine kills fascists. And when I see a fascist, it's usually a little old lady walking her dog, and I beat her up. That damn white wraith.
Don't you have to
She will not-
team up with 5 different people to beat her up though?
Yeah.
And don't you still run away
Hey,
after?
hey, it's collectivism in action.
Next, we're gonna find the local synagogue. We're gonna free Palestine one dead Jew at a time.
So
I
yeah,
probably took it too far.
no, fuck this book. It deserves it. I will say this: the concept of a communist organization, like some stupid online activist thing, it's fine. I don't like that for whatever reason it started in Brazil of all fucking places.
The problem with this whole book is this: it's boring. I'm bored.
Yeah,
There's nothing here
there's
that's
kernels
remotely
of ideas you could use, but they're just
fun.
it lacks
How
fun.
much do you blame? Because Hunter itself too was kind of like the death. Like a lot of people always point towards like an original White Wolf. Or do you think that this is just how V5 has implemented it? Because I know the original
It
Hunter
is
had a
V5,
problem.
but it's also the fact that like just go a little bit off the edge with this. That's what we like about World of Darkness. Okay, we've got the Ventru. They're wanting to be
Their signature
eccentric
character
knights.
legitimately has to drink from women who are sexually abused.
A little bit
Ew.
crazy. A little bit.
Jan Peterson
You know,
has to do that, but you know what? He hates that restriction, so you know what he does
yeah,
to both feed and also help them? He builds women's shelters. He builds women's shelters and charities to help the victims of spousal abuse and marital rape, as well as people who are just raped. He runs a law firm as well to handle that and help them. Because while he has to feed from them and it gives them access to them, you know what it also does? It also makes sure that they don't have to deal with it again, and he feels better about having to be a piece of shit who has to exploit them.
which is actually, because
Because you can't
in
control what you need to drink from if you're a Ventru.
also from Alistel. So man, the Brazilian side of the internet is pretty crazy. If the masquerade is getting breached online, it'll probably be in a Brazilian forum.
That would have been a funnier idea. Actually, I would have had these guys release the data. Okay, so hear me out. I think one of the problems with these organizations are they're trying to make these guys look too clearly goody-goody, and they don't lean into it enough.
Now, if I remember correctly, isn't everything south of the border of the U.S. all under Sabah control?
It was. They all Naruto ran to Jerusalem, though.
Like reading here, where they say when a new community bands together under the red eyes,
I wouldn't even make them a Brazilian. I would make these like a fucking commie gang, or I would make them Antifa basically, and then you have or you lean into them being like a gang, like a cartel gang, who specializes in doing horrible things to vampires.
It's saying complaints about the unequal distribution of aid,
No,
growing sentiment of certain individuals using the red eyes to elevate their social media profile.
no. If
But
it,
you're not making any critique of the organization or their methods.
and on top of that, like you have these guys start in the favelas of Brazil. Like I get the idea is it's supposed to be trying to show that slacktivism and champagne socialism, but you know what would have been a more effective group than this? Hear me out. It's a Brazilian drug gang that specializes in killing vampires because the boss of the outfit and a lot of his buddies that started it, his sister was embraced by a Setite after being inducted into a fucking cult, and other members of the community were human trafficked. So it
Well,
is a
Eh,
well, not just
cartel that commits crime, and they specialize in hurting the fucking Setites as hard as possible by doing all of the cartel tricks, including burning them alive to the tune of Funky Town.
just a minute ago, you were talking about, hey, is this the Black Panther group? What would it have been better or worse if it really was like the Black Panthers hunting
no,
down
that actually
That
vampires?
would have
that
been
actually
better. Like, have
it
them
would
be
have
a
been better.
bunch of deranged Maoists, like black supremacist Maoists, who basically see vampires as Whitey's curse. Because remember, this is a curse by White Cane onto the brothers.
Ah,
Ah,
or
Like
here.
you throw in a bit of Nation of Islam into it. Like say that
Yeah.
instead of Cain, it's Yaqub.
Yeah.
Yaqub
So
invented vampires, man.
dude, the
like
fact that we don't get more
another
YouTube
like hold
representation.
on, another organization, the Nails of Christ. They're Filipinos.
Okay.
And xenophobic
Oh,
against the
you're missing
foreigners
extend. I don't
and the
see I
Superman.
don't see where's this one?
Oh, it's page 139. It's way.
Oh, you're not doing extend. You're not doing the Indian company.
I'm I'm bored, man.
You don't want to listen to how an Indian firm that specializes in call centers is killing vampires.
Wait, is
That
that
would
really
be
it?
great. Like the fucking like Indian call centers are in a war with the Malkavians, and like there's just like a giant spam war going on.
Oh,
Whoever
that'd be
wins, we lose.
fantastic.
But instead it's what the heck is this?
I'm just envisioning a Malkavian fucking with these guys because they're scammers. Why did you redeem? Because the voices told me to. Why did you redeem?
So
Uh,
I will say
they're just
this:
using
it sounds
data to fight vampires.
we seem very angry about it, but I think the optimistic part of me would say, hey, look, we're coming up with ideas because of this book. Didn't it do its job?
I will say this, it does stand out from the regular hunter because we now have factions instead of generic group number 1,
yeah,
generic group number 2,
that helps a lot. Like,
generic group number 3.
this helps a lot. And here's the other thing. Some of these are actually fascinating, like the Arcanum. I think that's a fascinating concept. You know, like it's an old institution that gained new life because of the Second Inquisition, partially. Extend litigated the concept of like an Indian call center, like, you know, an Indian call farm center that specializes in. Think about it like this. Imagine if you had these guys basically serve as troubleshooters and like operators for the new world order. Like these are the guys that basically help direct hit marks and shit all around the world. Like you could do stuff with it. That's the problem. This book has flashes of like you can almost see brilliance, like a good idea, and then it gets just dragged down because of a mixture of too many cooks in the pot, the need for page space, and just they got bullied to shit deservedly for Hunter. So I think they're trying to play it safe, but they still want to have that flair, and they don't know what to do with it.
But your World of Darkness, go crazy.
Yeah, like
The
think about
better.
Extend litigated. They should be like, yeah, they're a telecommunication company, and the entire thing is they're trying to fucking scam vampires. Like they're a scam outfit designed to fuck over vampires and like the technocracy or something. And they're
Oh,
willing to
that
do
would.
all sorts of horrible fucking schemes to like fuck over people.
Oh wait. Oh no. Page 140.
Also, one of the key
Orpheus.
personnel is a weak-blooded vampire, like a thin blood.
Orpheus group.
All right.
They bring back the Orpheus group.
Oh yeah, you could do that.
That. Oh. I guess.
Also,
Well, I guess we
it's a
know there's
startup
no
company,
raid.
which is a problem. It's also like a startup. Really? Also, apparently they use like blood magic and shit, so this doesn't really make any sense to me. Where's the biotech company treating? Oh, this is the Extend. Extend is a call center that does that.
Adam, hello. Would you like to play a game? My name is Paradox. Here's the game we're gonna play. You're gonna buy Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 50 times, and we might make an Orpheus game. Make your child. I don't know.
Orpheus was aborted. That's not happening. Yeah,
Give us your money, or else Orpheus dies.
the thing is, like, it's a company that it uses the DNA helix, right? And then it also has like a blood vampire curse aspect, right? And they go into blood magic and extraction teams and shit. I I don't get the point of this organization. It doesn't make sense. Like, structurally, it kind of sucks.
Because it's the reference, Adam.
Of the Indian call center?
Oh, I thought we were still talking about Orpheus. I was thinking of a better book. I'm sorry.
I don't blame you. This book has like kernels of competence, but then it's like just so nothing that you need to talk about something else to feel.
To go back to the question I still wanted to answer, I think it goes back to the idea. It's like we're sparking synapse here. We're discussing ideas. So by that metric, did the book not do its job?
Technically, but I wouldn't pay money for it.
I get ideas. I get ideas when I take a shit. That doesn't mean the shit was a good thing.
True. My 2 o'clock in the morning shits are more creative than this book.
But speaking of something more creative, we've had people on Discord requesting it to look at riffs, and the option we were looking at, Dinosaur Swamp.
Oh yeah, Dinosaur Swamp.
Do you want to fight psychic dinosaurs in the bayou?
You know, this book is so boring. Fuck it, why not? Let's do Rift again.
We're going back
right
to
now?
riffs.
I like how the book just okay. So book ending on a wet fart. Sorry, I thought we were still going through it, so that's why I was showing it off.
Oh, keep going through it. It's just mostly then like how to utilize this in a game.
I would argue that I would argue this book is not. It's like a very low garbage. I think like not a low garbage, like a very high garbage. Or no, a very very low playable. There's like kernels that I kind of liked.
Also, I see from Angel Roy here asking how the Orpheus Super is different. They don't really mention anything. It's just they handle ghosts.
Yeah.
It's just a reference. And in this book, at least. So, what's below playable again?
I think that's it's garbage, not trash fire. It's like just garbage.
I thought we had like a meh rating. I don't know, man.
I usually use You could use meh. It's fine.
It really is like the idea where it's like, yes, steal it, steal this product. Don't give Paradox your money.
5 out of 10. It was okay review.
The modern day White Wolf is at it again, and what does that mean? That means they're able to make mediocrity. They're able to turn great ideas into slop, and somehow we're able to make the most mediocre, bare bones fucking product imaginable. It's actually kind of a.
What if I told you this was
a miracle? Unlike the regular, because I know Vampire 5e was a fucking trash fire. That I do know.
No, actually, mechanically, other than the Banes, which were so here's the thing, right? I don't like how the hunger works, but a lot of people do. Because it focuses a lot on the whole you're barely containing your monster that needs to constantly feed. Because you're playing a young vampire. You don't really have a lot of blood in you to start with. On top of that, it mechanically borrows some of the best aspects of Requiem, such as blood potency, which means in time you become a stronger vampire because your blood thickens, right? There's a lot of good stuff in there, and I think it actually uses some of the other elements that the Chronicles of Darkness fixed. It fucks up the Banes, but mechanically it's fine. It's just the lore is terrible. Except for the clan Banes, because you'll either have nothing wrong with yourself, or let's say you're stupid. You're a fucking idiot. You picked Zamichi. You're going to need to actually move your goddamn house and the dirt around it in a fucking crane and move it whenever you have to go there if your clan Bane gets too strong. You know the gag about how a Toreador can stare at an art piece until they die from sunlight? That's a real risk for a Toreador in Vampire 5th. It's not like a funny haha thought experiment. That can actually happen. But yeah, Vampire lore-wise is mechanically shit. The worst of them, I think, is overemphasizing the Thin Bloods. The Thin Blood alchemy is like something you can kind of play with, but having the power to have all the powers is kind of stupid. Clan Hekate is the worst, though.
Admittedly, if I did it, my problem would be instead of Thin Bloods, I would overemphasize fucking Dampires because I think those are cool and I like Blade.
I mean, straight up, there is a mechanic for that where, like, the lower your generation, the less of a chance that you will, because the curse is weird. It will occasionally spontaneously not work for a second, so you're like alive briefly, and in those brief flickers of being alive, you can accidentally create a Dampire.
Oh no, my deck will only work for 24 hours, but I'm truthful I can.
Well, it's more like, oh no, my dick will only ejaculate real semen for like 1 microsecond rather than blood disguised as it.
And with this discussion, I think it's time we end the video.
No, we got more to talk about. Come on. Don't you want to talk about the time that they kept kidnapping Bolivians to drink all their blood? Oh no. Yeah, it'll be dinosaur time next week.
Yay, dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, man.
Personally, I would have gone for the fucking Italian wolves.
What's that?
We don't
one
have
again?
those in Rifts yet. We do not have Italian wolves yet. Oh, wait.
No, those are a thing in Rifts.
Well, that
Like,
might be something that we look at for the future.
That'll be
Yay.
future Dice Gum problems. See ya and have fun. Not with this book. Have fun with either Reckoning or Vigil. Not this book.